Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and let's get ready for EJ Boxing Live.
Yo, what's going on, people? EJ Boxing Live here with my main man, YG Knight. What's up, YG?
Yo, what's going on, EJ? Yo, what's going on, people?
Yeah. We're gonna chop it up. We're gonna chop it up on the basketball thing. That's what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk some basketball. So, YG, the Brooklyn Nets are the record. They've lost the last 4 out. Oh no, let me see. Let me see if they lost recently. They lost quite a lot recently. I know Kevin Durant wasn't playing because of the covert thing or stuff like that, but they lost quite a lot. What's going on in the team? Why are they losing? Do you know?
The team chemistry. There's a lot of moving pieces. It's got some young players that have to develop.
Yeah.
And Steve Nash is a first year head coach, so a lot of moving pieces. It's gonna be bumps in the road.
Yeah. I'm taking. Go ahead.
And there's another thing that you have to take into account for that. The season is a little bit more condensed, with closer games, practice times and things of that nature. But I still see there's a light on the other end of the tunnel.
What light you see?
The playoff time, like championship light.
Like I look at it like this, right? They losing, and you see you're talking about chemistry, but that really and truly that could really come down to the coaching staff. Maybe this is how I see it, right? We're dealing with covert. Steve Nash, the first head coach. The players have got egos, and they're getting away with stuff, and they're acting like they do what they want, like mad disrespect. Like, for example, like Kyrie just decided not to come training, and that's it. Like, they asked Steve Nash, I don't know where he is. They're like, if you're a coach you respect, that shit's not popping. Then they bring D'Antoni in. Most players don't like D'Antoni because he rubs some other players the wrong way. They don't really like him. The system they're playing is not working. They ain't playing no defense. Because I see what Nash is trying to do, right? Nash is bringing D'Antoni. He's trying to bring that Phoenix system. Run and gun, up the floor, beautiful. That works when Steve Nash is the point guard. But you ain't the point guard. And you got guys on the team who are very selfish, right? So he's the wrong coach for these players. And the coaches, the coaching staff, you need someone that the players respect there, and they don't respect him because he's a first time coach. I don't think they mess with D'Antoni either, and the style of play is affecting Kevin Durant running up and down. I mean, he's got Achilles and he's playing big minutes, and we ain't even in the playoffs yet. You're running these guys out, running these guys ragged. Harden just came over. He's trying to make a run of it. The moment Harden and Kevin Durant done pretty good, you insert Kyrie straight into the lineup, not even building that chemistry. So I think the chemistry in terms of where the players' positioning is wrong, the coaching system is wrong, and I feel the coaches are wrong. I like Steve Nash. I first feel like he's in the wrong place. He's in a team where these guys are looking for a championship. You need a Pat Riley, a guy who commands respect straight away. You need someone like a Phil Jackson, who the players know that he got his rest. So he ain't been to the championship, bro. Them guys got more. He's been an MVP, and people question his second MVP in the league. You know what I mean? Shaq or Kobe should have got it, right? So he ain't even been to the finals. You're talking to my man, Harden been to the Western Conference Finals many times. You're talking about, was it 2-time ring in Kevin Durant? And you're talking about Kyrie, who won a ring in thing. How they going to respect him? So that's what I think. What do you think?
So what I think is, I just think Tom, with the group they just signed Novan. He's coming in. That's another big body. They signed Iman Shepherd. He's coming in. That's a wing player to help on the 3-point line and the pick and rolls on defense. So it's just time. They're just gonna need time to, like I say about after 50 games, Harden and KD and Kyrie, they have each other nuances down, and Harden's already averaging 11 assists a game, so he's basically in sync with when you throw him in with the second unit and people that line up. He knows how to pass, so he gets people involved. It's just on defense, like that's another thing with your defensive rotation. That takes time to get in sync with everybody, where everybody's supposed to know where they be at, what they got to do, what their job is. So they're still learning on the fly. That's why I was saying about 50 games that they should be where they need to be. Even yesterday, Harden and Jordan had a little, like, they had to talk it out on the court and on during the timeout, because the rotation, he not where he's supposed to be. Like they're learning on the fly.
Yeah, you're right.
But
you're right.
come playoff time, it'd be much easier, because when you start game planning for a team, and then you game planning what they do, and then you execute. So that's why, like, they're gonna know offensively, all of that's gonna come into play. Defensively, that'll take time when they actually have to add those players that I named into, because they got 3 other bodies coming in, and that should really help them. So
No,
I Francis.
No, you bring some good points. Now, I give you this, right? They ain't gonna win the NBA finals anyway, right? I'm gonna put it on you. But I like the team. I like them. I like Harden. I like Kyrie. I like Kevin Durant. But I'll be honest with you, bro. They don't need Kyrie. Because I saw a game, yeah, and you tell me I'm wrong, right? When Harden just came for his first game and they were playing the Milwaukee Bucks, right? And they were the former Eastern Conference, the former, MVP and all that. And, the Milwaukee Bucks were coming with full force, right? And all they had was Harden and Durant, and they were killing it, bro. They was putting it because they had chemistry from Oklahoma. They play well, bro. And you're right, Harden, but the defense wasn't all there, but they play better. When Kyrie comes on the floor, his energy's off, man. You know what I mean? He's just in his own thing. Like, he real got some good rhythm, the defense and everything like that. But I just feel like right now, in my opinion, I just feel like, say, yo, you know what I mean? Like, Kyrie, like, they've all got long-term contracts, so you got to make it work, right? But I feel like the system they're playing, it don't help them to get the best out of them. You know what I mean? And, Harden played a long time with D'Antoni, right? So he's cool with that free kind of do what I want thing. But, bro, like, man, other guys like Deontay Jones, he's used to be holding the guys accountable, because he had, what's his name? Who's that coach who used to train him in the Clippers? What's his name again? Doc Rivers, right? So he used to guys holding them accountable. So he's like, yo, that's what he does on the floor. But see him, he should be just playing. Like, all of a sudden, he's telling this guy, that guy, yo, bro, that's what the coaches should do. This is what I'm trying to tell you. The coaches ain't took charge, bro. They ain't showing leadership. And that's
but I don't think you watching the game, because Steve Nash was coaching him up yesterday. And then on the timeout, Harden. See, that's what I'm saying. That's part of the
I'm talking about the Milwaukee game. No, I'm talking about the Milwaukee game. I'm comparing the Milwaukee game, where they won the game against one of the best teams, with 2 of them. I'm comparing it with 3 of them in. So that's what I'm talking about, right? So
but I get that, but that's just more into the.
No, but let me finish what I'm saying.
Let me finish what I'm saying, though. Let me finish what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let me finish what I'm saying. So, in my opinion, yeah, of where they are at the minute, I don't think they're going to win the NBA Finals or championship. But I feel, in terms of the coach and stuff of where they are, Steve Nash is the wrong guy for the job. And you're right, we can give them time. But, bruh, it's looking bad and bad and bad. And I can't keep blaming the players, bruh. I can't do it. Because, like, end of the day, they very talented. You look at it, you're like, yo, bro, this team could be doing better. And you can blame the players if you want, but, bro, they're getting numbers. The defense is slack, so you have to blame the system. But, either way, like I said to you, they ain't going to win the NBA championship. But I got them winning some playoff games. You know what I mean? But I ain't gonna surprise if they get bounced straight up. You know what I mean? Because go ahead.
But the only reason why I don't want to blame the system, because they don't know the system yet. So they're not running the system to 100% now. If it gets after 50 games, and then because I don't see they move the ball, they pass the ball. It ain't really too much one-on-one dribbling. It's none of that. They pass the ball. Everybody's the guy. If you wide open in the corner, you're getting the ball. They space the floor. They do all the right things. The only thing is the players are not used to the system yet. Then this is just some games where guys are not knocking down their shots defensively. They're not, the rotation is not there because like everybody don't know where it's actually supposed to be.
Yeah,
they're not really
totally
comfortable. Sometimes guys not totally comfortable helping off of their guy or their assignment. And then another thing too is they're undersized. But now that they just signed 2 big men, where if they can get those guys in the shape, they like it's gonna be looking a lot better. Plus Kevin Durant have been playing like that's why I said it's gonna be tough. We got to see how the team comes all the way together, and then usually we don't really even start having these conversations until after the All-Star break. Now the All-Star break has been pushed back, but that's still supposed to be this weekend right here. So even though they've been up and down, we would say for the first half of the season, it's not really a big deal because it's still the first half of the season, and they still at the top 5 of the East. They're still in striking distance to And then, another thing is like I said before, and I retorted that this is their first year in the system.
Yeah, I heard you, bro. So you're basically saying give it some time, and I'm saying to you, right, as far as I'm concerned, at this point, it ain't gonna get no better. I hear what you're saying, and we're gonna have to wait and see. But the Brooklyn Nets have lost 4 of their last 5 games, bro. 4 of the last 5. Yeah, they have also allowed 120 points plus. Yeah, in 11 of the last 12 games. And what I'm saying to you is that it's not going to get better. Like, the other teams are coming for them because like they got all the stars they're targeting. This is one of the worst big threes I've ever in history. The worst big 3 start in their history. Most of the big threes, they be killing it. Yeah, this is a bad one. This is a bad look. It's bad on the franchise. And Steve Nash should be held accountable. Because I feel this is what I feel, right? A lot of time, all they doing is keep blaming the players, man. I'm like, no, bump that shit. I'm a coach. I used to coach a basketball team, bro. And then when this shit goes, I'm responsible. And because it's a players' league, and players have certain respect, they're looking at this guy. Because I remember when he got the job, right? Wasn't Kyrie happy? I don't think Kyrie was happy. Because Kyrie was happy playing with Kevin Durant. But I heard when Steve Nash came over, he didn't like it. And he's showing it in his disrespect the way he was carrying on. Started acting temperature. I ain't playing. I got things on my mind. He didn't want to play. He don't want to play for this coach. So he's in my way, he's sabotaging Steve Nash. Right? That's what I think. I think he's sabotaging him. You know what I mean? Like, same way he started trying to sabotage LeBron James. You know what I mean? That's what I feel. That's why I feel like he's that type of guy. You know what I mean? And unfortunately for Steve Nash, he's in a system or thing. He's brought the right coach and staff. But bruh, if the players don't want to play for you, what can you do, bro? You know what I mean? And that's what I feel was happening right now. What's it, Steve Nash? What's this my man saying on the chat? Steve Nash, what's it saying? Steve Nash is the worst coach in NBA history. At the minute he is, yeah. At the minute he is.
You guys.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Out of those games, first of all, right? They're undersized right now, and that's the first thing that they have to correct, right? And they did that because they signed bodies. So that's one thing that he's fixed already. Then off of like what you said, like with the upper part of the loser streak, the team is still gelling together. Remember, there was no preseason, none of that. They just jumped back into the fray. Mm-hmm. So he didn't even have a preseason. So they're learning. Like, this is why I said they're learning on the fly. Now, if the players don't know the system 50 games in, then you have a legitimate, a legitimate gripe about it. Or
how long you want to wait? How long you want to wait before you sack Steve Nash? Give me a date, because he's going. I'll tell you that right now. He needs to go.
Nah, I don't think.
No. Give me.
I think, but what you mean? How long?
Yeah. How many games before? How many games would you give him before he needs to go?
I would give him 2 full seasons with the.
Whoa! You really? Damn.
You say you do know he didn't even have a training camp, right?
YG, I'm YG. See this season, right? Like, coaches. No, wait. Hey, listen to this, right? I'm gonna show you something. The Toronto Raptors, had a coach, who was coach of the year, and they lost in the first round of the playoffs, right? But they were coach of the year. They sacked him and brought Nick Nurse in straight away. So I know how this works.
How many years did Casey have with y'all?
Yeah, 2 years. 2 years. And he changed it around. 2 years. And he changed the whole thing around. And they sacked him.
Yeah.
And he was coach of the year and they sacked him. So what I'm saying to you is this, yeah? Right? This shit is going down heavy. Right? Real talk. Listen. The Nets, yeah, the Brooklyn Nets are getting a lot of TV time because they're the biggest team in New York. Because no one cares about the Knicks, right? So they're getting all the TV attention because they're in New York. New York's the media, you know, and I know, right? And I like New York, like you like New York, and I usually ride with the Knicks, right? So I'm like Los Angeles are getting played, they're getting time as well because Boston's just there, but New York and LA, that's where it's at the minute. And every time I turn on the TV, because I go out my way, especially to watch the Lakers, and I watch the Nets. And when I watching the Nets show, it's like car crash TV. It's bad. So I'm just saying, no one else is blaming the coach. So it's not like YG, you haven't got beer people going at the coach. So it's just me in it, right? So he probably ain't going nowhere. But I'm saying to you, yeah, right? He in my opinion, I'll give him till after the no, I can't. You can't even do that. See, where's the All-Star game? When's that happening, bro?
They moved it back to maybe be in March.
Okay, March, right? So, right, we'll be March. So he's got some time, yeah. I don't think he's gonna go, yeah. But I really feel the argument needs to shift off the players and on the coaching stuff is what I'm saying, because the players are getting rinsed every minute. Every time I look, they're blaming the play. They're blaming the players. Like I'm like,
because either guys just missed games or it's been.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what coach is supposed to do, though.
Guys just missed games. There's been injuries. Spencer did when he got hurt. He was a big part of the second unit. So this is what I'm saying. They didn't have a training. Like, you're gonna fire a guy, but if he don't have he didn't get a training camp. He don't get a draft a player. Like, how can you fight? Like that, I don't even.
Hold on. I'll tell you why. I can tell you why. They decided to bring Harden over to the equation, right? Mm-hmm. Right now, when they brought Harden, they gutted the team. You agree?
Yes.
Whose decision was that?
That was management.
Management. Who's a part of management?
Steve Nash is not a part of management.
No, of course he is. He had to co-sign it. I'm not blaming him directly, but what I'm saying to you is that the management decided we wanted Harden. We're gonna gut most of the players who holded us down, because the Nets got to the playoffs last year, right? They were in the playoffs last year. So they gutted the team with chemistry, right? They had a decent amount of they've got Kyrie, they've got Thingy. But the reason why they brought Harden in, because they can't rely on Kyrie. So Kyrie knows they couldn't rely on him. And that's why he's acting so clean in the way he's carrying on. And I'm trying to tell you, the reason why that is because he don't respect the management and what's going on. He thought New York's going to be a good thing. It's going to be me and KG. And when he don't like Steve Nash. He don't respect Steve Nash, bro. I don't know I don't know what it is. I just don't. And Steve Nash.
That's just in your view.
Let me finish what I'm saying. The Steve Nash. I don't know if it's him or D'Antoni, right? And between the two, but all I know is this: someone in the organization is sabotaging this thing, bro, right, and making it bad, because they shouldn't be. And I show. I understand they're struggling, but they should have the willing heart to get over this thing. But it's like they gave up, man. It's like they gave up, YG. Real talk.
They didn't give up. They just undersized. Last night they
beat the thing. They beat the thing, bro.
Last night they had Harden. Listen, last night they had Harden guarding Blake Griffin.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
They're undersized. That's
I know. With this, I know they've been undersized. You don't listening to you. I'm telling you they beat the Milwaukee Bucks and they were undersized. I'm trying to tell you, bro.
They beat the Bucks. That was earlier.
They beat the Bucks. Harden. It was Harden. They didn't even have Kyrie. They didn't even have Kyrie. They were undersized. They had Green playing center. I know they undersized. That's not what I'm arguing about, bro. I know they're undersized. I'm trying to say. Listen, it's not the undersized I'm talking about. I'm talking about the system they're playing ain't sufficient enough to hold it down. It's not. There's no defensive structures. I understand defense and offense. There's defensive structures and schemes. You're talking about offense. I'm talking about their defensive thing, rebounding, all that stuff. You got a team. When you
that's
yeah, you
part of
yeah, but when they got the
that-
team, they should understand, yeah. You're relying on other people to pick up the slack. So Deontay Jordan, he has to pick up a lot of slack and then put him to play log in big minutes. And what I'm saying, he understands, yeah, he ain't running himself out because he ain't gonna burn himself out before the playoffs. Kevin Durant playing on Achilles, just come back from Achilles injuries, and them not running him into the ground. And we ain't even got we ain't even got in 10 games. I'm saying to you right now, their system is whack, and that comes down to the coaching staff. Now, we're going around in circles here. You disagree, and I think it's this way. Now, I'm telling you, if they want to change it, now you're saying we've got other pieces, let's leave it. And I'm saying to you, okay, let's agree with you, I'm going to leave it. Give me a time thing. Before the All-Star, after the All-Star. I don't think anything will change. So what I'm going to say to you, yeah, if nothing changes just before the All-Star, Steve Nash needs to go. That's what I'm saying.
I can't. He didn't even have a training camp. Not after one season, 20 games in. You're gonna fire.
Yeah.
You fire him, and then you then hire a new coach.
Yeah, better coach. Better coach.
And then now you're paying two coaches.
No, yeah.
Pay him off. They got money. Pay him off. Get him a better coach. So
let's still pay him off.
All right. Let's do. Hey, listen. Right, it's not gonna happen, YG. So don't get so emotionally attached to it. So who, right, at this point, which coach you think would fit into that system with them guys? That's what I'm going to talk about.
And that's another thing you can't. And just that, now if you want to say at the end of the season, you fire him and then you hire somebody else, a Mark Jackson, somebody.
That's a good gun. That's a good gun.
And then you get them to end because you gotta if you're gonna do that, you're gonna fire him. You gotta give somebody an off season, preseason, and time to work in it. Like to fire them and then they learn.
Right, everyone's learning. Lakers are learning. Everyone's learning. The Lakers had whole new people as well. They had, but you're right. They had a season. But listen to this, right? What I'm saying to you is that we're in unusual circumstances. The corona, they can't go to their families. They can't do certain things. I understand all that. So everyone's under usual circumstances. But at the end of the day, the name of the game. And for the NBA is results, and they're looking bad. They are one of the most talented teams in the NBA, bar none, right now. And they looking like suckers MC. Something's got to give. Now, if you ain't going to get rid of the players, they ain't going. You just traded for Harden, so he ain't going. You say you're bringing a big guy, so let's give it a time. So if Steve Nash can change it around, then my conversation changes. But right now, we have to make the video on it because I'm telling you, I like the Brooklyn Nets. I really do. Like I said, I don't think they're gonna beat Finn. We've got people in the chat, yo. Jalik wants a leak. Right. People on this thing with YG.
We sparked up a buzz. I didn't even see you guys in there. Well, I don't think they're gonna beat the Lakers, but bruv, they're better than YG. You know they're better than this. They're a better team than this, don't you think? They're a better team than this. They should be.
Yeah, well, I mean, once they gel and they'll be a better team. But right now, they're playing how a team that just been thrown together play.
Yeah.
Well, you're not. All the chemistry is not going to be there. Then you're undersized. That's the recipe to get a whooping put on you.
All right,
be undersized and don't have team chemistry.
All right, so let me read out some of the comments, YG. But YG be putting this time? YG's a hardcore. YG be on Brooklyn from time, so I give YG credit because I was.
No, I mean, look at the Super Bowl. That's the same thing they were just saying about the offensive line on the Super Bowl. That the Chiefs' offensive line was banged up. The tackle, Fisher got hurt, so they had to move the right tackle over and then flip this guy over there. And those guys had no chemistry, and because of that, Mahomes was running for his life the whole night. If five guys is a unit, and y'all not move, and y'all don't have y'all chemistry together, and y'all not moving as one, that's the easiest way to get whooped on because you got to be a chain, especially on defense or on the offensive line. Y'all supposed to be a chain link fence, and everybody's supposed to move as one. So if y'all not moving as one, then that's an easy way to lose.
My man, Danny C, you could jump in, Danny C, bro. How is it the players' fault when the coach has the guard in the center? YG?
because he was Harden was guarding that was a power forward he was guarding, but
no, he's talking about someone else. But go on, he's talking about go on, answer the question. Go ahead.
But the reason is because the rotation, they made that trade, and now they have to fix the rotation, which they done already. So now they just have to get those guys into shape, and like then we got to take it from there. But I still believe in them. Plus they had a 7-foot shooter, sharpshooter, which Kevin Durant is. That's out for the next few games, so it's gonna be bumpy.
My man Jalik, he said fire Steve Nash already. He said WTF. So he's I think he's on board with you, bro. Jalik. Brooklyn is the third team in the East. Yeah, it looks looking that way. EJ gives SSB 28 said EJ gives Nash some time. So they rolling with you, YG man. They rolling with you, bro. Get the topic out. Get this topic out, and their Nash has how he destroyed their team. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, get this hoe out of there. Nash is he is. That's what I think. Danny C, I think Nash. I like Nash. There's Jalik. Hey, Danny C, jump in. There's Jalik. There he is. What up, Jalik?
What's up, EJ, YG?
Yeah, what's going on, Jalik?
Yeah, they always first of all, the hiring of Steve Nash was kind of questionable, but the players got some. That's why I like the NBA. I ain't gonna lie, because they got so much leverage. Unlike the football, they got a lot of leverage. But sometimes you just picking guys based on, I don't know. So it was kind of weird. I didn't think Steve Nash would be the I didn't think he would be the coach. Now, since they got him, I remember back in the day when you don't really know basketball, you think, okay, this guy is good at point guard, this guy is shooting guard, and then they all gonna play good. But chemistry is very important. And who's the leader of their team? Kevin Durant is not really a great leader. He's great. He can play in any offense in any history, and he don't need the ball. And he's one of the greatest scorers in history. But who's the actual leader of the team? One thing they say about LeBron James, he's an actual leader, though. So no matter what you like about him or don't, he's a real leader. Is Kevin Durant the leader? Kyrie the leader? Who's the leader of the team?
I got James Harden. James Harden is, man.
You trolling?
No, I swear down. Okay,
you trolling, EJ. Stop that.
I'll tell you why. On one of their biggest wins when he came over, they beat the Milwaukee Bucks. That was one of their best victories, bro. They beat them, and I think didn't they beat the Clippers as well? Harden was involved in that. I'd say it was Harden, bro. Real talk.
Why who the leader of the team, bro?
You ask the question, I think it's Harden. Like, yo, real talk is Harden. Like, why you clowning, bro? Why you clowning?
YG's opinion. Who you think the leader of the team is, YG?
I'm clowning, bro.
Not the leader of the team is KD.
Okay.
See, exactly. Well, you quiet on that one.
No, because well, we know KD isn't the best of leaders based on his temperament and personality. Yeah. We have an OKC.
So who you think the leader of the team is?
I don't think they have a strong enough leader presence to really get him over there. And we know Kyrie is like he's just good at it, and it's just a check to him. He's no longer in love with playing basketball. And you get what I'm saying? Everything frustrates him. We work with people like that, but it's hard to turn down the millions of dollars. So they had a point in their careers. I think it's Kyrie's 10th season. Homeboys about 12th. Homeboys 15th season. So they getting up there as far as basketball knowledge, and it just becomes like a job to them. You get what I mean? So maybe they'll turn it up because skillfully they have it. But the thing about Kyrie, he needs the ball in his hand. And James Harden needs his ball in his hand, and he's been had and always had like a conditioning problem when it gets to the playoffs. But Kevin Durant is the best player on the team.
Yeah, he's the best player. He's the best player. But I'm trying to say, when I saw them, now I wouldn't even normally agree with that because you asked that question. But if you was to ask me, I saw the way Harden helped out him and KG and the way they beat the Milwaukee Bucks, who considered one of the best teams in the East. bro. For me, it was Harden, and I'm saying Kyrie's the one soaking. And then what I'm trying to say, this is why I say you need to sack Keys Nash. Kyrie could never disrespected the coach. Steve Nash, they asked him where he at. He go, I don't know where he is. Like, you the coach? What you mean we don't know where he is?
Everywhere.
Nah, that would never happen with Doug Rivers, bro. Hold up, that would never happen with Doug Rivers, bro. That don't never happen, bro. So like, it's never. Doug Rivers ain't gonna never allow that. They would never disrespect him like that, bro. He ain't got no respect for him, bro. That's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying, look, I like Steve Nash. It's not even I like him. I'm saying because they like him, he ain't showing them the respect. So I'm gonna say to you, he ain't getting. Remember again, I told YG this, right? You're talking to a two-time NBA champion, right? In Kevin Durant. You're talking about NBA champion finalist, NBA champion in Kyrie. He ain't got no rings, bro. These men only respect the rings, bro. And he ain't bringing none of that hardware in there. So how we gonna respect you? What you done? You ain't even done nothing better than me.
Ask you this: did whatchamacallit have rings before he came to Toronto? Nick Nurse.
What did Toronto do before Nick Nurse was there?
They didn't get over the top. They made it to like the finals.
They sacked the coach, and that's what I was saying to YG. They sacked the coach of the year. You know what I mean? They sacked the coach of the year, right? And they traded over and brought my man in one and done and took him to the promised land. And they ain't gonna get another. They ain't gonna get another.
Last year though, they was kind of good last year.
Yeah, they were there, but they ain't getting it. They come to what's his name? Siakam in the playoff. He ain't bright garbage, bro. See what I'm saying? He don't show up like these dudes. You're talking about three of the one of the best players in the NBA history right there. James Harden, Kevin Durant, MVP, and Kyrie, MVP finals, killing it. Right? You're talking about some of the best players ever. And you as a coach can't get. You have to look. Listen, I'll be honest with you. I coach teams like this, yeah. With egos like this, yeah. I had to say to myself, bruh, like these. If I can't get these two, this is a nightmare. This is a fucking nightmare. You have to sit down with these boys, and we have to get to a conclusion. And Dame, the thing is, the number one thing to me is Kyrie. He's the reason why this shit. He's sabotaging Steve Nash. He's doing it by what he's doing, and that's why I said because he's doing that, he won't let Steve Nash be successful. And then when he's on the floor, he completely ain't playing no fucking D. He does what he wants, and the chemistry is completely ruined, and no one can tell him anything. No one. Like Harden's okay. Like Harden actually comes over and came with it right away. First game when I see him against Milwaukee Bucks. But since they've inserted Kyrie, it's a downhill spiral, bro. You know what I mean? And Harden's like, fuck it. He's on his shit. I'm gonna do my shit as well. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, Kyrie, bro. Yeah, Kyrie. I said, oh my god, that's a mistake. But
he was there before Harden. So he started soaking.
Yeah. You guys, once they put the big men in the vibe, they put Sprint into the rotation to help guard on the wings. Everything gonna be a-okay. Things gonna get tightened up. They're gonna start holding people to about like 1-on-1. Not me, maybe 90 points a game. Then that's it. Like they're gonna take off from there. I already see that happening. The biggest knock on them is they playing undersized.
Yeah.
And then they don't get the defensive rebounds or the help in the paint that they're supposed to get. So teams are scoring on them and is attracting me. And then what you seeing attract me, and then you looking over, you seeing Steve Nash, Mike D'Antoni, and then you just bringing back old flashbacks. But this ain't that scenario because in this scenario they got way better scorers that can score down the stretch. And when they put these defensive players in, that's gonna help them out too. So like just give a little bit more time, fellas. Y'all jumping the gun a little bit.
All right, that's cool.
I want to know from YG who's gonna how they gonna figure out between Harden and Kyrie. That's a big problem, bro. Who's gonna play off the ball?
Figure out what Harden already runs the offense.
Harden runs the offense, so they got Kyrie playing off the ball more.
That's wrong, AC. That's wrong.
Yeah, he doesn't, and he's small.
It's really not though because Harden is up there. since Harden's been on the team, Harden's been passing that rock.
No, but what? No, listen.
Harden doesn't. You know what's the thing that's wrong? That Harden doesn't get half the calls when he goes to the basket like how he was doing in Houston. Now that he's on Brooklyn,
no, listen.
They be letting him. He goes to the rack and they beat up on him, and he don't go to the free throw line half as much as he used to go.
No, why?
Like that shit is embarrassing.
No, YG, what we're saying is that listen to this, right? Everywhere Kyrie been, he controls the ball. Everywhere Harden been, he controls the ball. Kevin Durant is cool. He don't mind. Let me finish what I'm saying. Right? So Kyrie, he gets majority of the ball handling. Harden go where he go the ball. He gets the majority of the ball. Now, what we're saying is that in the two of them, and this is why I agree with Jalik, yeah. Thingy should have the ball. Kyrie should have the ball, right? And then them guys should play off that. That's what should happen. But what's happened is that you're letting Harden run the ball. He ain't the best decision maker. Kyrie's a better decision maker than James Harden. That's what we're saying.
He's not. So name one season that Kyrie averaged more assists than James Harden.
No. Listen to me, bro. Listen to me. Decision making, bro. I ain't talking about us this making assists. I'm talking about decision with the ball. Kyrie, yeah, is a better decision. When he cuts down he breaks down the defense, right? And he could score or he passes. That's what he does. And then you can use Harden off the perimeter. That's how he's supposed to play. But what's happened is that Harden is doing the ball and Kyrie's watching. He ain't doing that. He don't feel like he's in the game, and that comes down.
How does he feel like he's in the game when he's shooting the most shots?
Yeah, because he don't care. Because every gets the ball, he ain't trying to let go of the ball no more. Because he ain't getting
no, because he's playing off the ball when he gets the ball.
Yeah, he don't like. That's how he don't play. He don't like playing off the ball. Though.
I was about to kill that whole premise because first of all,
you ain't killing nothing.
Hold up, EJ, because you way off, right? Because first of all, and when he played with LeBron brought the ball up. He didn't set the offense versus.
No, you didn't hear what I said. You didn't hear what I said. You didn't hear what I said. So let me repeat it again. Everywhere he been playing that year, he gets a good proportion of the ball. Now with LeBron, yeah, LeBron is either him or LeBron. They take time. So what you're dealing with right now, yeah, is the problem right now in terms of decision making is you're saying it's Harden or it's thing, and this comes down to the coaching staff. One of these dudes, yeah, is gonna have to make a decision, yeah, and play, and he ain't working out. Because I tell you what, when Harden comes down the ball when he was in Houston. You're lucky, remember the offense ran through him because he could do whatever and shoot the ball on the halfway line and whatever, and everyone said cool. But now you're in a different team where these other guys demand the ball, and Kyrie he soaks when he don't get the ball, bro. Harden, yeah, he's another one. He's like he don't get the ball after a while. He don't play no defense. And you're dealing with some real prima donnas right now, bro. And the coaches,
I don't like. I haven't seen that. I just seen Harden. I just seen Harden banging with Blake Griffin in the paint yesterday. I haven't seen a game since he's been on Brooklyn where he was lackadaisical out there. And as far as soaking, he's been shooting the most shots since the whole Why?
They're losing games.
Hold on. Let me finish my point. Now, if y'all anybody out there to say like, yo, I think that they should move Kyrie to the point guard so they could bring his shots down and have James Harden shooting more.
It's not about shooting, bro. Ain't about shooting, bro. Ain't about shooting.
Hold on.
They losing games, bro. They losing games.
Can I finish my point?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm about to say if y'all want to say that switch them and make Kyrie facilitate and make those guys shoot more. Then I would be almost a little bit on board with that because, in my opinion, him playing on the wing, he is shooting more than Kevin Durant and James Harden, and I feel like they could shoot at a higher percentage than him.
All right.
But since they're letting Harden run the offense and he's playing on the wing, then he has no other thing but to put up shots.
Okay, YG, like I'm gonna just jump right. The bottom line is YG, right? They losing games. Right, if you sweep the Knicks, yeah, and the next coaches, what's it say? If you swept Knicks and the next coaches, next would be first place. And the Knicks would be 0-25 with Nash, yeah. Like, bro, you're talking about obviously their record is really bad, right? Both of them, you're right. But listen to this, right? I'm saying to you, YG, they losing games right now. It ain't looking good. You're trying to say they're gonna bring some other guys. That's more chemistry they got, or they have adjustments, and it's all have adjustments. This is a mess. It's a mess, and it's bad. It's bad for the NBA because I want them to be pretty competitive. Because remember last year we were talking about the Clippers, and the Clippers ain't getting the shine. The Clippers are pretty good, but the Nets beat the Clippers, right? So what I'm talking about is games like they should be beating teams like Detroit, right? But against top teams, that's why I grade them on top teams, not the teams like Detroit where I don't even like. You know what I'm saying? They should beat them teams. I expect to beat them teams there, right there. So
that the issue with Detroit is they outmatched.
I know that. That's what we're talking about here. So what I'm saying to you this, right? When you're saying give them time, right? And I'm not saying sack him now, right? Jalik saying, I'm not too sure what Jalik's saying. Jalik's a surprise we even talk about sacking the coach. But what I'm saying is that I'm going to give him from now. So we're in February, right? I'm going to give him now before the All-Star game to get it together, bro. Because they don't get it together. First week after the All-Star game, he ain't popping. My man, Sutton needs to go, bro. Sutton needs to go because I can't be sitting this. And like, real talk, he's a nice guy and it ain't nothing to do with him. But personally, he's not the man to take him to the promised land. He just ain't, bro. These brothers, they ain't happen. Go ahead, Jalik.
No, you crazy, bro. I thought I was strict on these coaches. You strict on them,
bro. I'm telling you,
I would trade Kyrie Irving and get some picks and somebody that's going to be more beneficial for the team. And
why are you blaming the players, though? Why are you blaming the players?
I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you because Kyrie is the guy. He's overrated in the sense, and he makes a lot of money, but you can get a lot for his return. Let him off. Trade Kyrie Irving, bro. I'm telling you, Mel, because put James Harden at the point, trade Kyrie Irving, and get somebody else that's like that knows his role, is not trying to be a diva, but still a hard worker. Trade Kyrie, let him, because you know he played like he in the Rucker leagues. Let him play like how he want to play. Send him to Chicago and get somebody else, man. I'm telling y'all, try to trade him for Zach LaVine, because Zach LaVine can play off the ball. And he can play point guard and shooting guard too. Try to see if you can get Zach LaVine for Kyrie Irving or somebody, because it's not going to end, bro. I'm telling you, it's not going to win, and it don't matter who the coach is.
Right, like so you with everyone else, right? Blaming the players rather than blaming the coach and stuff. You're along with that, like, because that's what I was doing. I was doing that, but listen, I used to coach teams, right? I ain't coached no NBA level. I coach professional in the UK. Right, and when we're in a team where we're getting smacked, I always look at the players, right, because it's a professional league, right? Mm-hmm. So the professional league, you have three of the best players in NBA history on this team, bruh. You gonna sit here to tell me you gonna blame the players? Nah, it can't happen, bruh.
So let me ask you this: what coach would fit though?
That's a good question. Now, that's a good question. So YG says Steve. YG said Mark. What's his name again? Mark.
The light-skinned guy.
Yeah, Mark. What's his name again? Mark Price. Not Mark Price. What's his name there?
I know you're talking about
Mark Jackson.
Mark Jackson.
Yeah. No, he's one to know. He did. So Mark Jackson. You got the guy who got sacked from Toronto. You could probably, I don't know. Maybe he's coaching the NBA somewhere, right? But Thingy Casey. I think his name was Thingy Casey. But what I'm saying to you right now, there's coaches that, in my opinion, as soon as they come in there, they get real respect. I remember when D'Antoni was in the Knicks, right? Mm-hmm. And blatantly, what's his name? Carmelo Anthony was disrespecting D'Antoni. And when they replaced him with another coach, he said, yeah, I'm playing now. I'm going to play. The brothers are like that, bro. The brother men's are like that. They ain't got no time for no D'Antoni, right? They don't respect what he was doing to Marbury. They don't respect what he was doing. See, remember, they know this stuff, right? They don't respect what he was doing to Nate Robinson. They know he ran Kobe into the ground and popped Kobe's cogs out. They don't respect him. Kyrie don't like him. And he don't like Steve Nash, who got the 2 MVPs over Kobe Bryant. Because remember, he's a Kobe Bryant guy. And I'm trying to tell you that when he got the job, Kyrie was the first one to say, yo, man, nah, what's going on here? I've seen it happen, bro. These guys they don't like certain coaches and they ain't playing for him. So Kyrie is the problem. But what I'm saying to you is that, so let's take the coaches out, replace the coach, give him some money to get him out of here, bring some over, and I reckon Kyrie will start playing. That's what I think. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think. Go ahead.
Nah, I say trade Kyrie for what's the dude from LA, y'all? And he played for the Spurs now. He used to play for Toronto.
Spurs and play. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Spurs.
LA. He used to play for the Toronto. What's his name? DeMar DeRozan.
Nah, he ain't good. He's not a good fit.
No, because he played his position as the 2 guard. And Kyrie Irving, it'll benefit him, but of Popovich.
You look
at Popovich. Do it like that because, and then DeMar DeRozan it can seed himself, and then he can start developing his working on defense. He accepted his role good at the Spurs, and now he definitely accepted in front of Harden because Kyrie. Harden in his mind, he think he better than KD, and I know he think he better than Kyrie. I mean, come on, bro.
I think if they're gonna trade him, I think they're gonna trade him. You put Devin Booker, or you got the guy from Atlanta. What's the guy from Atlanta? The kid from Atlanta.
Oh nah, they ain't gonna. He about to get a super max deal, bro. But
if you was gonna trade him, I'll be looking at him or the kid from Utah. But they ain't go. None of them guys are gonna go. So he gonna stay there.
Kyrie Irving? I would trade.
No, from for the guy for the Jazz. Denver. Was his name Donovan? Donovan, what his name? The one for the Jazz.
Yeah, they ain't gonna trade Donovan Mitchell.
I know. But that's what I'm saying. I'm looking at them. And listen to this. I always look at what were the guy from Denver? Take the guy from Denver. He nice.
He better than Kyrie Irving, bro. You
I know. That's what I'm saying. But that's what. But he ain't going. Kyrie ain't going nowhere. So the coaching staff needs to go, bro. That's what needs to happen. But we gonna leave. Why you say this piece though? I'm gonna go with why you say because right. Wait up, Kyrie. Jalik, they play in Indiana tonight. They play Indiana tonight, right? They play in tonight. I'm gonna go live on the game. We're gonna sit back. We're gonna see. We're gonna have a party right here. Cause I tell you what, if they ain't beating Indiana and they just lost to Detroit, and you told me they don't need to get rid of Steve Nash and they lose to these teams, you know signs giving, bro. Don't tell me they ain't. Come on, you can't tell me that he don't need to go, bro.
That's
yeah, you see, you didn't even know, bro.
No, bro.
You know, it's never the players' fault, you know.
That's quick, bro.
No, it's never. Yo, let me tell you something. When you got Hall of Famers on your team, right? Let me tell you. I'll give you one. I'll give you a scenario. You had Kobe Bryant, you had Eddie Jones, you had Nick Van Exel, you had Shaquille O'Neal, right? All of them was good, right? You had Del Harris was the coach. You had all them players. He couldn't get them over 2 years. He couldn't get them over the hump. They sacked his ass. Guess what they bring in? Phil Jackson. Eddie Jones goes. Nick Van Exel goes. How many championships? You understand what I'm saying to you?
Phil Jackson.
So don't tell me, he's no coach. What about over in Miami when he had what's his name again? What's the guy who's at Atlanta? The guy who's over in New Orleans. What's that coach name again? Stan Gundy, right? He was a coach of Miami, right? Shaq was there. All them Hall of Famers, Anton Walker, all these guys, they were doing shit. They got rid of him. Pat Riley came down from the head office. Same year they get a championship. Don't tell me, bro. I know how the NBA works. The NBA is a bunch of guys. It's a players' league, and the players decide who they want to coach them. You know what I mean? That's what's going on here, and they're sabotaging him. That's what's getting us, Steve. They don't want to coach him.
They're on the side as assistant.
What's that?
Is he one of the assistants, Dan and Tony?
Yeah.
Yeah. That he's a gimmick. We talked about that last year. He's a gimmick. I would never hire. I would never have him. Yeah, he's a gimmick.
Yeah. And you know what he did to Kobe? Ran Kobe into the ground. He wouldn't play him.
Van Gogh. Why would they do? They're weird. Like, see, that's what I'm talking about. Kevin Durant. Why would you even allow that? Van Gogh. Dan Tony to come on your team, and then
because Steve Nash had him when he was at the Phoenix Suns and they were doing the thing. He was the head coach. That's why,
bro. He can't beat nobody. Like he's a.
I know. That's what I'm trying to tell. I was telling YG. YG's bounced, by the way, but he got his piece. So it's just me you holding it down. But
But what I'm saying to you, this right? I'm saying to you right now, right? With players the brothers they don't respect D'Antoni. They might like Steve Nash, but they ain't respecting that guy and the coaching stuff. They ain't playing with it, bro. Harden's cool. Harden don't care. right? Kevin Durant, he don't care either. But Kyrie, he's real disruptive, bro. He's real disruptive because they look to me, they were doing pretty good without him, right? Then he came back and sabotaged the whole thing. But they beat the Bucks, right? And then Megan's, I only rate them against top teams. So why did you talk about Detroit last night, right? And I'm like, I don't care about that team. Like, I don't really watch them team. Like even the Indiana team. I'm like, I don't really care about that. I care against the top teams. Like in a couple of weeks, they're gonna play the Clippers and they're gonna play the Lakers. They're gonna play the Lakers on the 16th or the 18th of February. Everyone's watching that game. Everyone's watching. If they get blown out, like killed by the Lakers, you tell me Steve Nash hasn't gonna roll.
Now, since you thought about it, now since that I'm realizing that Dan Antonio's his gimmick energy will speed up the process, and I agree with that one. Now I forgot that they had hired him, and when they hired him, I said, "What are they doing? They just don't get it. Yeah. They just don't get it. Like, and we not even in the league, and we can see he's a gimmick. He's good for like overseas coaching or college basketball, not for the NBA. He's a gimmick.
He's good. I think he's good. I think he's good with certain coaches, with certain players. He's right. But you see, the thing is, certain thing, I don't know what it is. They give him more respect than he deserves, and he's one of them guys that, like, he really, like, when he came to Lakers, right, and he got Kobe. He played, he ran Kobe into the ground, man. You know what I mean? He done the same thing with Kevin Durant, like. Well, I can't really say it was him or Steve Nash. Like, they ran Kevin Durant. He got Achilles injury. We're in a regular season. Why are you making him play like double big minutes, man? That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
They're gonna run it before the game.
He's a gimmick, bro. Like, you right though, bro. He gonna put Steve Nash's career in jeopardy. Let him go on like a 6 or 7 game. But the great thing about Steve Nash is he got a good contract, and I believe their contracts is guaranteed. So even if he get fired, he's still gonna make millions. So it doesn't matter. I see what you mean on that. I just don't know who would be with these different egos that they got.
And you know what? They don't give a shit, right? They don't care if they got.
When's the trading deadline this year? Because
you see, because everything's moved. YG said like the All-Star game is March, right? So it's after.
It's March. Okay.
Yeah, it's before the All-Star, right? But what I'm saying is that when they gutted the team, whose decision was it to gut the team to bring Harden over? Now, I'm glad they brought Harden. The reason why they gut the team to bring Harden is because they don't trust Kyrie. Because they don't crush Kyrie. You know why they don't crush Kyrie? It's because D'Antoni and Steve Nash looked at him and said, bruh, this guy might mess our shit up. Let's gut the team and bring someone over. So they're doing stuff, yeah? They're doing 1 minute.
Okay. Yeah, make sure you, for those listening on the play, like,
no, they're doing stuff. Yeah? That's right. They're doing stuff. Yeah, they're doing stuff to sabotage Kyrie. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they're up to. So I see exactly what's going on. You know what I mean? YG saying this? I'm saying they brought Harden over to replace Kyrie if Kyrie doesn't behave himself. And Kyrie's like, okay, I see what you're doing. Okay, I'm gonna start acting up. That's what he started doing. He started like, yo, I don't like you, bro. I don't like you. And this is what's happening, bro. And that's what they need to get rid of the coaching stuff. Now, guys, like that guy was never good in New York. He was in New York, yeah. D'Antoni, and messed up all that. Marbury was good, you know. Marbury and them boys were doing good, you know, until he came there and he messed it all up. Marbury said, I ain't even gonna play. You know what I mean? Remember that? That messed up his career. You still there, Ginny?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, good.
It's crazy, man. See, when they hired Nash, I was like there, but I know the relationship that Nash had with Kevin Durant and off-season workouts and getting them to be a better basketball player. You know, it's a difference between being a coach and a teacher. So those are two different things, and a lot of people don't realize that coaching involves so much more than just being a teacher and helping somebody on the off season. So we'll see if he lasts the first season. Now, and if they get knocked out in the first round or something, he's definitely gonna get fired after his first season, because their expectations is to not just go to the championship, but damn near win it.
Yeah,
guys is running out of time. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Look, bro, they lost their last 4, bro. Out of their last 5 games, they lost 4.
Oh wow, okay, yeah. So see, I'm gonna be honest with you. I always thought they should have kept D'Angelo Russell and then just get Kevin Durant. I think D'Angelo Russell and Kevin
That
Durant
would have been, yeah. That
was
would
better.
but they brought Kyrie. See, they brought Kyrie over, right? And Kyrie, to be fair, Kyrie's okay, but see, Kyrie loves New York, right? So you bring a coach in that he's happy with. He wasn't happy with Steve Nash coming over. He wasn't happy. You know what I mean? He does say happy. And Steve Nash brought Thingy over. He ain't happy with him. So that's where we at in a minute now. So I blame the coaching stuff. I'm not gonna, because a lot of people out here, they're blaming the players. It's easy to blame Kyrie. Or it's easy to bribe Harden. Yeah, easy, because they always get a lot of flack. But the bottom line is their numbers don't lie, bro. These are really good players. Like, whether we like their style or not, they're very good. They're very competent. So you gotta have to put them in a system where they're efficient. You see what I'm saying to you? Because Del Harris, yeah, when he had Kobe, Shaq, Nick Van Exel, Eddie Jones, yeah, he was trying to find Kobe minutes. But when it came down to it, Kobe was the most effective guy on the court. So why are you going to take off the most effective guy? Even though he was a rookie, he was putting numbers up on Eddie Jones. I'm talking about in the playoffs now. Kobe was like, yo, this young kid, he's fearless. He's putting numbers up. And Nick was off. Eddie was off. Shaq was doing numbers, and so was Kobe. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense to just get rid of him. And this is what I'm saying. Now you look at it like this, right? Are they not all three not putting up numbers? Yes, they are. They're putting numbers up, so that's not the problem. So what's the problem now? The defense? Yeah, the defense is the problem. Oh, we undersized. So Golden State was undersized. That didn't mean nothing. Their system. You have to run the right system for these guys to be efficient, for they can be doing their thing and that. You know what I'm saying? And then it comes to the playoffs. How are they going to be effective in the half court? Who's their best post-up player in the half court set? And can they play half court defense? You know what I'm saying? These are the things as a coach you look for. And when I look at them, they're out of whack. Their whole thing is out of whack. They don't like playing for each other. They don't even like each other. You got the center, DeAndre Jordan. He's telling players what to do. You know, when you're on the team, right? You've been on the team, you've been on a basketball team, and you got one guy telling you what to do, and you're looking at the coach. Why are you talking to me for? The coach,
yeah, that's true.
Okay, that means he don't respect the coach. I never see DeAndre Jordan talk ever on no teams when he was in Dallas, when he was over in the Clippers. He kept his, you know what I'm saying? So how are you talking now?
What you mean though, because you have to have respect. If you respect the guy, even if you don't like the coach, if you respect the coach, then you'll do your best. But if you just looking at this guy like, man, forget you, you know what I'm saying? Make more. Yeah, Mark Jackson does have some type of respect, but the thing with Mark Jackson, can he take care of the X's and O's? So it will require him to have assistant coaches that bring in the X's and O's, because I'm hearing that I'm not sure he's the best at X's and O's.
He been to the finals with the Indiana, bro. He's a respect. They knew he. Mark Jackson, yeah, he went to the finals when he was in Indiana. He was
player. I'm talking.
He was the one he was the one who told the Golden State to trade for Curry and bring Draymond Green that no one wanted. He was the one who made sure. Yeah, and then he brought Clay over. You know what I'm saying? He's the one who's. This was I was saying to YG. The coaches, right, when they come down to decision making in the draft, the coach has to be in the input because they have to implement into his system. You see what I'm saying? So probably Dan Toney said we want Harden. It was Dan Toney's probably idea to bring Harden over, because when he left Houston, right? When he left Houston, he went over to join Steve Nash. And it was probably his idea to, because he's in Houston and their connection, say, look, man, Harden's trouble over there. Look, man, Dan Toney probably made a phone call and said, look, we'll give you some players to send him over to you. He's all right with me. So Harden's good with Dan Toney. Harden's cool with him. So, and Kevin Durant's cool with him. But they don't like Kyrie. That's what I know. They don't like Kyrie, and Kyrie knows it, and they don't like it.
Kyrie, so I'm gonna be honest with you. It sounds like he should retire if he's unhappy, because basketball is not gonna make him happy. I'm sure he has 15, 20.
Basketball. He doesn't play. Nah, it's like me. Like, I'll be honest with you. I remember, and I don't know if it happened to you. I played basketball for years, yeah. But as it got harder for me because I didn't like playing for certain coaches.
Exactly.
I didn't like playing for certain teams, and I ended up just leaving it, bro. You know what I'm saying?
It's a business though, EJ. And a lot of times we think just because they're playing basketball for the NBA and they making this money and they getting all this attention that they're happy, but that's just a lie. That's just not true. So it's actually probably even worse because they get so much scrutiny, so much advertisement. You can't go nowhere, and you can see just how frustrated Kyrie is. It's like he just want to be naturally free. He got a little rebellion in him. You know what I mean? I can see that. So that's why he might want to take a couple years off because you can't force nobody to play, and it's just gonna come out no matter what.
100%, man.
You know what I mean?
Well, you gonna watch the game tonight? I'm gonna watch the game tonight. I know they're gonna lose tonight.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to join you.
I know they're gonna lose tonight, man. I know they're gonna lose because I don't think they care for each other, and they ain't gonna get no better. This is a disaster. This is a disaster.
Hey, I thought they was friends though. I thought that was the package. Kyrie and
but they are. But bro, he's soaking. And Harden don't care. Like you can see that Harden's type of guy. If you fucking up, okay, I'm gonna do it. You know, Harden's one of them guys. Harden's one of them guys. He follows the pack. If the pack's fucking up, I'm gonna do it as well, right? Kyrie's the type of guy. He's the type of guy. When he's on it, he's the most energetic player you want to ever be around. But when he's soaking, man, he ain't one of them guys you want to be around. He don't. Kyrie, bro. Kyrie's one of them guys. When he's on his, he's on it, bro. He you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I see this, bro. I've been with players like this guy, you know. Remember in the modern age, bro, he laughing. In the modern age, these players need pampering. You know what I mean? And he's had it all his career. When he was in Duke, they modified themselves. When he was in Cleveland, you know what I'm saying? What's his name again? Even LeBron had to try and, you know, Kyrie, you know, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like dudes accommodate to him. You know, he's letting people know that I'm the alpha out here, and if you ain't gonna, if you gonna play up, I'm gonna act the fool. That's what it is, man. And the thing is, when he's doing that, he's making a statement that these coaches need to go. I see Marbury do the same thing. See, this is when they start thinking they bigger than the game and stuff like that. You get me?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You're right, bro. Like I said, he probably want to take a couple years off and see if he still want to come back. But it's just like his 10th season. If you notice, he always get hurt. So I don't know if he'll make it to Hall of Fame if retire now. He still got some more stuff to do. But that it's just I want the guy to be happy. You know what I'm saying? Because it's mental health is real. People think it's a joke, bro. And you don't want the guy to develop no certain habits. He's you know. I wish him the best, but I'm telling you, man, I said this 3, 4, 5 years ago when he was with Boston. I picked up on it. I was like, oh man. So
I do that. Yeah, that was I knew that. Yeah,
he got hurt. That guy Rozier stepped up and they was doing good.
Yeah, they were doing better with Rozier.
Exactly.
They were doing better. Yeah, they were. That was a better team. They done right. They was that Boston team. Yo, that Boston team was nice. I like that young Boston team. They were fun. Man. They were fun. They and you can see they loved each other, man.
Exactly.
They had each other's back. They stretched LeBron all the way down, bro. They stretched LeBron, but LeBron was too much, bro. He was an animal, bro.
Kyrie, the type of dude you be out partying, drinking or smoking weed or something. He come in, you be like, bro, I gotta go here, blow your high up. You be
hey, he could be. I tell you, Kyrie could be real toxic, bro. He
don't get it too. In this crazy, oh, shit, he probably gotta go to one of them shamans and do like a sweat lodge. He doesn't get it. Like,
he got some bad spirits, man.
Yeah, it's something. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, I found that about a lot of basketball players when I used to play them. Some of them got some real demons in there. And they what they do, they got that kind of expectation that they nice and stuff. But see with D'Antoni and the coaching stuff, they try and they're like, yo, they like, yo, we don't care. We got Harden. They were doing all right with Harden and just Durant, bro. They was, man. I ain't gonna lie, they was. I thought they didn't even need Kyrie, bro. But you know, when it comes to the thing, I'm looking at Kevin Durant. I'm saying they're gonna wear your legs out, bro. They ain't no way you gonna beat LeBron in a 12-game series with you got who's guarding AD, bro? Okay, who's guarding Kevin Durant? Okay, but who's guarding LeBron? Yo, talk to me now. Who are you gonna get moved to, bro? Like if they go to the finals, they're gonna get swept, bro. They're gonna get swept if they get to the finals.
If they make it to the finals, I doubt it.
They go. I think they go. Go ahead. They beat Milwaukee, you know.
You gotta know how your friends are. You can be friends with Kyrie, but you gotta be smart enough to know that, hey, we just gonna end it there.
Bro.
But being friends with somebody doesn't equate to us being good teammates, and you got to know that.
But who's the best? Who's the? See, the thing is, this is why I tell you they can beat the finals, right? On their stretch here, when they were doing it, they beat two of the top teams. They beat Milwaukee when Harden came over the first time, right? Then after that, a couple of weeks after, they beat the Clippers, right? Then after that, yeah, this is the big game I witnessed. They beat Miami, bro. You understand? They beat Miami without Kyrie. I think Kyrie was there. They beat Miami. So that's all the three teams they beat. So they beat them handily, and I was watching the games. So I said, yo, they're going straight to the Eastern Conference Final. So they beat all the teams who were nice last year, and they beat them comfortably. You know what I'm trying to say to you, bro? Right? I think the Clippers game was a double overtime, but they nailed them. They finished them off, right? So they have the ability and the pieces to do the damage, right? But the problem is right now is that, bruh, maybe the COVID situation, and I know, and Kyrie's looking. I don't want to win with these guys, man. I want to get rid of this coach.
Kyrie is, and the crazy thing about it, EJ, is he actually kind of got the leverage. See, that's the thing about the NBA. They got a lot of leverage, and the coaches be scared of them because they don't want to, because they get fired. They got a lot of leverage. See, that's a good thing, and it works as a bad thing. That's why they can just do whatever they want and get traded however they want.
Yeah.
Look at Harden. So that's why I would get rid of Kyrie Irving, get DeMar DeRozan, because he can still bring in some scoring, and he can, work on his defense even better because he's learned a lot under Popovich, and then that'll deal with the value. I think that'll work itself out. And then, see, I don't know if Popovich would accept Kyrie,
No,
I don't know.
But no, he ain't gonna be. No, but Kyrie, see, like Kyrie, like James Harden, for some reason, they treating James Harden like some rubbish. They be bouncing him around, but he's nice in Washington. Cause Washington, he's like Arenas, like James Harden. James Harden's really good, but for some reason, I don't know what it is. People don't like him, but Kyrie, people actually like Kyrie. They actually like him, but I think Kyrie doesn't like them. That's what I think.
You know what it is? It's marketing. One is with Adidas and one is with Nike. It's all marketing, bro. I'm telling you. When they program you, that's a good point you brought up, EJ, because everybody like them. Yeah. And Damian Lillard is with Adidas, Harden is with Adidas, and Kyrie is there. But anybody in their mind would tell you that Damian Lillard is better than Kyrie.
Hell yeah.
The marketing plans is different, bro. It's all programming, bro.
Yeah,
programming.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say to you. So at this point right now, I just looking at this. I'm always one of them guys, to be honest, just gonna keep it straight. That like I rarely gonna sit there and blame the players. Like looking like, man, how you can't get these guys over the hump? Like I said, Del Harris and Shaq and all them guys. And I was looking at it, like, how come he couldn't get over the hump? Because he wasn't a good coach, man. And Nick Van Exel used to argue with Del Harris all the time. So that's already a lack of disrespect already. You know what I'm saying? So I said, yo, that shit ain't gonna work, bro. Like, and that's what's happening with Steve Nash. Straight off the bat, Steve Nash they go, where Kyrie out? How come he didn't play? Because I don't know. I mean, that shit was deep, bro. How you gonna say you don't know where he is? You the coach. I don't know where he is. You don't know where he is? Nah.
Yeah. Let me run to the bathroom real quick, EJ.
All right, cool. No worries, man. That's cool. I didn't even read the comments and stuff in the chat. My man Jalik, the leader over here. You know what I'm saying? My man Danny C, if you sweep the Knicks and the Nets coaches, would it be the first place? Wouldn't be first place, and the Knicks would be like 25. Yeah, 25 with Nash. Yeah, man, they still gonna get to they can still possibly get to the Eastern Conference Final because the East is that bad. The East is actually better, but they ain't as good as the West. The West is nasty, bro. The West is nasty. I just feel like this, as it stands right now, the Nets are terrible, man. Are they the worst team in the NBA? No. But they becoming with all the talent they got, like, yo, that can come into one of the biggest failures ever. How you got some MVPs? You got 2 former MVPs of the league, man. That's real. Yeah, I was just saying. They got 2 former MVPs of the league. You got guys who 2 champions. You got 2 championship ring holders on the team, man. You know they've been there to the promise. They know how to get there. Like, I need to see the league. I need to see the league division rankings, man. NBA rankings right now. See how far they down. I bet they ain't even far that down. I bet they ain't even far. Ranking. Let me get the rankings up. Rankings up. You know what I'm saying? Because boy, this shit is getting peak. All right, the Nets in the East, yeah, they're ranked 3rd. See, even how bad they are, yeah, their record is 14-12. You know what I'm saying? Like the Philadelphia Sixers are 18-7. The Milwaukee Bucks, who they beat, are 16-8. See, they beat. I don't know if they play Philly. I haven't seen them play Philly yet, but they definitely beat the Bucks already. So they already beat the Bucks and they rank 3rd in the Western Conference. The Lakers, I know they're number 1 already. I don't even know the Jazz are number 1. The Lakers is just 1 behind. Jazz have got 20 wins with 5 losses. The Lakers have got 19 wins with 6 losses. So the Lakers are just there about. You get me? So the Nets, they're only 3rd though. See, we complaining, but they 3rds. I guess if you're 3rd, he doesn't deserve to get sacked, right? So I guess he ain't gonna go nowhere, probably, right?
That's what I'm saying though. It will require, like, if during the season they go on like a 6 or 7 game losing streak, boom, 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 be the AC, or they get knocked out in the first round, or something crazy like that, or something similar to what happened to Doc Rivers. See, Doc, sometimes you just need to change the scenery. Doc Rivers, I thought that with him getting fired was the best thing with the Clippers, and then now he's so far he's doing pretty good with the Sixers. So it looks like they on up and up. So we'll see with them right there. But I'm just trying to just thinking of how certain things work. Who would be a good trade with Kyrie if he does have that in his game? I don't know if
I don't know they're gonna trade Kyrie, bro. Kyrie, I don't see Kyrie. They gonna make it work, man. They have to make it work, man. They're only 3rd, so I guess the panic. But you see what it is? They got a free game. See what I'm looking at here, right? Jalit, they got a 3 game losing streak. You know what I mean? Like the Bucks have got a 5 game winning streak. The Sixers, I got a 2 game winning streak. The Lakers, let me see the Lakers. They got a losing streak. Lakers got a 5 game winning streak. You see what I'm saying? What are you laughing for? What are you laughing for?
No, because I'm thinking that trade, like, you gotta get rid of. You can't play games because it get worse and worse and worse, bro. Your reputation is on the line. So why would you wait? Just trade him right now. I'm trying to think who would be good.
Man, their record's terrible, man.
I gotta think somebody
They're 50% at home, you know. Like they got 10 wins with 5 losses at home and away. Their away records, but their away record is bad, bro. That's where they're losing a lot. They're 4-7 away. You know what I mean? But the losing streak, the losing streak is peak. The losing streak, but they still 3rd though. So in highlighted, real talk, if they drop down to 8, or that's bad, that means they're gonna be out the playoff race, right? So they if they continue the losing streak though, because look, I need to know who they playing, right? Let me see who they playing next. Who
So their standings are they going to do 82 games this year, or it's only going to be 72? Because they only played 24 games, so it's
I'm not too sure. Listen to this, right? So they got the Nets, and then they got Golden State. So they should be able to win them 2 games. Golden State ain't that night, right? Then they got the Kings and they got the Suns. The Suns are a hard game. The Kings should win. So now February the 19th is clutch. Listen to this now. They got the Lakers and they got the Clippers back to back, bruv. That's the one I'm watching. That's like I'm live on that one. But these other games, I'm not really like the Pacer game. Like they supposed to win later tomorrow. Like
I don't know if they're gonna win that, bro.
How they gonna beat 2 of the Laker teams? They got the Lakers.
Indiana game, bro. Indiana is good, bro.
Who they going in Indiana? Who they go over there?
They got Karis LeVert. Remember the trade? They got Sabonis' son. They got Michael Brogdon. Indiana's almost got the same record as them, I believe. That's not a.
Week, man. Let me see.
Listen, if they beat Brooklyn, they'll have almost the same record. They'll be 13-12, and Brooklyn will be 14-13. So they'll be almost tied with Brooklyn. So that's what I'm saying. Indiana is a game.
Now Brooklyn are 14-12, bro. They're 12.
And Indiana is 12-12. So if they beat Brooklyn, they'd be 13-12, and Brooklyn to be 14-13.
Oh yeah, you're right. But
Yeah,
they ain't
all
gonna lose. They ain't gonna lose. Nah, they ain't gonna, they shouldn't lose. That's what I'm saying. They shouldn't lose to the pace. See, this is what I'm saying. How this game become critical. You see what I'm saying to you? You're supposed to beat the Pacers, bro. Yeah, I don't care because they're just a
I
regular
agree,
team.
bro, but
They're a
because
regular,
they
team.
both
They're a
on
regular team in the
3 game
East.
losing streaks.
Like,
They
the
both
Pacers,
on 3 games
the,
losing.
you see it as well. The Pacers
Yeah,
on a free game losing streak as well, right? So
yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's just
But you know how they get. See, when you got the stars on your team,
yeah.
everybody want to beat you, so they gonna get up for. They'll get up more for Brooklyn than Brooklyn probably get up for them.
That's what everyone's on it. Everyone's on it. That's why that's what Detroit beat them because they're like, yo, the coach and stuff like, yo, they ain't together. Yo, they weak. They weak. We need to step on them. Now that's what it is.
Yeah. And then LeVert motivated because that's his former team. He like, you traded me for Harden.
Yeah.
You feel me? So he gonna be up for this game. He might drop like 30 on him.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, I would have never drafted him, but now since it's there, I would just go ahead and trade Kyrie for DeRozan and some other people. Because certain things ain't gonna work. Try to get Zach LaVine maybe, but or just get somebody with real good defense. One of them guys from Denver. What's his name? That's right there. That still know his role. Gary Harris. Somebody like that, bro. I said, what's up, Khalil?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's up, Kyo? Yeah, well, Kyle. So we gonna update. So YG saying, or when he was here, he's saying give them time up to March. I'm saying they need to get rid of Steve. They need to get rid of the coaching staff with Steve Nash. Jalik is saying, you know what I mean? They need to trade Kyrie. What you say?
They can't trade Kyrie because him and Durant become a package deal. Durant wouldn't be there if Kyrie wasn't there. So they're pretty much stuck with the team they have right now until next year when they can really, try to negotiate some trades for some of the other pieces that they have. They mortgaged their future when they got James Harden. You give away Karis LeVert, who was one of the better bench players in the whole NBA, and he's over in Indiana. But right now he has a blood clot on his lung, so he's not going to be available for the season. And you still have Spencer Dinwiddie over there, who ruptured his Achilles, I believe. He didn't tear it, but they still have him, so that could become a potential trade piece for next year, along with Joe Harris, who's making $60 million. So they need to now. What they should do is Durant to come back, before they play the two LA teams. So he can mask some of the issues that they have, but historically they're the worst defense in NBA history. So that won't go away. That's something that you have to have going into the season. Like in don't get me wrong, we didn't have a training camp or any of the exhibition games and stuff like that. So all of these teams are sort of learning how to play with each other on the fly, like with the Lakers, for example. After the Detroit loss, Kyle Kuzma told a reporter that the Lakers don't even practice, because they're trying to preserve a lot of the players because they had the shortest turnaround, them in Miami, out of everybody. So this was the shortest turnaround in NBA history. So somebody like the Lakers are learning everything in game, and Brooklyn is put together this year. So they're still trying to learn each other's tendencies and stuff like that. But that defense won't improve. Like if they could, they're right now dead last, but if they could get somewhere in the 20s, along with their explosive offense, they'll be fine. But this year is a no-go. It normally takes super teams like this a year to sort of adjust to each other, so they still gonna have these same issues they're having now. Even when they get to the playoffs, it's gonna be a dogfight. And like y'all mentioned, all of these teams are going after them because of who they have on the team, and they're not afraid of these guys. Like Kyrie Irving has never played defense. He was able to get hit in Cleveland because we had guys like Dellavedova and Amon Shumpert and those type of guys to sort of hide Kyrie on defense. On this team, you don't have a bench, so you can't hide him anywhere. Teams are going to target him on switches and pick and rolls to try to get him one-on-one with some bigger, faster guards. You know what I'm saying? So you can't hide Kyrie Irving. Like all of the great teams are going to target him out. And as far as, Steve Nash, I don't really think it's him right now. I don't think they should have made that hire to begin with. They should have never made the hire. And then you got D'Antoni, on the sidelines. And if you look at the way they play offense with this 7-second shot shit, that's some D'Antoni shit with no defense. You look at his Phoenix Suns teams. You look at that Houston Rockets team that he coached. Those teams look similar to this. They just jack up a lot of threes and play no defense. So they're going to struggle. But I wouldn't necessarily put it all on Steve Nash. It's the players. You know, you remember when before the season really even started, you had Kyrie Irving coming out saying that we don't really have a coach. You know, I could be the coach one day. Durant could be the coach one day. Like some bench guy could be the coach one day. So off the top, this dude showed a lot of disdain for Steve Nash, and it was a bad hire. But Brooklyn's biggest issue is that they don't have any leadership. Like, you don't have one guy in that locker room who can galvanize all these players and get them to get along, even if they hate each other. At least, you know, this is a business. So if you don't like each other personally, at least play with each other. And I believe that it's Kyrie not wanting to play with James Harden because, you know, the reason Kyrie left Cleveland was because he wanted his own team, quote unquote. So you get shipped to Boston, which was a blessing for you. You had two terrific players in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. You had a great coach and you had a great GM and Danny Ainge, on top of being in a great sports city. Boston is a top 5 sports city in America. So you get blessed going to that team. You mess that all up due to your lack of leadership and greediness. And then you get go over to Brooklyn with Kevin Durant. You know, and he, of course, missed the whole season with his injury he suffered in Golden State. So you're down there by yourself for the first year. And then in this year, you get James Harden. So not only don't have your own team, but you're third on the team because I think we all agree Durant and James Harden are better than Kyrie Irving. So you left a championship situation in Cleveland where you were the second best player and now you're the third best player on the team. So you moving backwards. So everything that's going on, you have to look at Kyrie Irving. Like, this guy took 28 shots last night and only scored 27 points. That's a bad efficiency night. And until they address that issue where he's the one taking the least amount of shots or the second least amount of shots, they're going to always lose. Because I remember games when he played with LeBron James, like he would take the most shots and the Cavs would lose some of those games. You're not going to win a championship with Kyrie as your leading scorer. Like, it's just not going to happen. And Kevin Durant needs to put his foot down because LeBron told him off the top, this my shit, this my team. And we go when I move. And until Kevin Durant display that level of leadership and alpha maleism, they're never going to win. He doesn't have that. That's not in his game. He even admitted it. Like, I'm not a leader. I just want to play basketball. So but he's going to have to. He's going to have to. Because this team, even next year, even if they get to acquire pieces that it would take to shore up that defense, they're still not going to win because defense is a mindset. They're going to have nights where they're not hitting their shots, all of them. But that defense travels. That defense is effort. So until Kevin Durant starts playing defense, they're never going to win because it starts with him first. And if the rest of the team see that the best player is not playing defense, then they're not going to play any defense. It's a trickle down effect. So, I mean, this year is a wash to me. I think that they will make the playoffs. They'll get semi-better. But I heard y'all mention some of the upcoming games. Don't sleep on the Golden State game because Golden State beat the Lakers this year. They beat the Clippers this year. Like, they have beaten some good teams this year, some of the top teams in the league. And one thing that Golden State does is they can score the ball. And if Curry get hot, and they do play some level of defense with Draymond and, you know, what's the other boy's name that plays defense that they just acquired from Phoenix? Forgot his name. Kelly Oubre. So like they do have guys that can give you some level of defense. So I don't even got them beating Golden State. You know what I'm saying? They might get Indiana, but Indiana is a pretty solid team too. Now they don't have Karis LeVert this year because, like I said, he's out until further notice. But they still got Miles Turner. They got Sabonis. They got Brogdon. Like they got some guys that can play some defense, and they're a pretty good coach team. So that's not going to be an easy out. Like, don't get me wrong, Brooklyn has a lot of talent. Even with Durant out at this moment, you still got two superstars. And last night was a perfect example. Detroit's, you know, not a very good team. Even though Jeremy Grant has looked pretty decent this year, they're not a good team. And they was able to beat Brooklyn because they play some level of defense. Like, Brooklyn's going to struggle against everybody. Look at the Cavs. The Cavs, and that's my team, and I hate to say this, but the Cavs is the worst offensive ranked team in the whole NBA. And we hung 140 plus on them. and beat them twice. So because they don't have defense, bro. So they're going to struggle against
that was
the bottom tier teams.
Yeah. I became a fan of Cleveland after that, because I like Cleveland. I like the way they were hanging together. I like you could tell they love each other, man. They play for each other. And that's what we're saying about the Nets. They don't play for each other. I felt they beat some good teams, but Kyrie, it seems to me he on some bullshit, because when they beat the Milwaukee Bucks, when they beat Miami, I was like, yo, what's up? And I think they beat the Clippers. I was like, yeah, all right, cool. Because that's what I care about. I understand these teams they're playing tonight. I ain't, you know what I mean? It's just another team they supposed to beat. But bruh, everyone's watching. They're on a losing streak right now. They're on the clock. And now I'm saying to you, I understand what you're saying now, that Steve Nash is not to blame. But like you said, you can't help but look at the system and say, yo, Steve Nash is a guy that comes over and he ain't got no rings, bruh. That's this when you got a super team. These guys are getting on in the years. This guy ain't got no rings. You shouldn't have got the MVP over Shaq or Kobe. We do know that, right? Furthermore, you ain't even been to the NBA Finals. Have you even been to the West? I think they got to the Western Conference.
Yeah, they got there that year.
Against the Spurs.
The Spurs, where they got cheated when everybody came off the bench, when Robert
Murray's talking about, But what I'm saying is that when you're a player and you're a veteran age, you look at who you got. Like LeBron's one of them rare guys. It don't matter who the coach is, bro. Exactly. LeBron will make you a Hall of Famer. He'll go to Miami with Coach Spoelstra, and everyone's think it's Coach Spoelstra. Even Coach Spoelstra in his mind, he think I'm nice. But when you go against LeBron on the other side, you realize how much an advantage it was to have this guy on my team. See, coaches getting caught with their own offense and their defenses. This is what the NBA is a freak. These guys, you don't need no system. Yo, you just need to let them play their game and let them and just roll with them and then you guide them. That's what it is. People think they getting caught up with, you need to work in the system and we need to share the points and stuff like that. Yeah, but you also need people around them in their place. Let's look at their structure. Are the guys playing in their correct roles? They're not. They're all playing out of position. So how the heck you gonna be successful if they're all playing out of position? Who's the true point guard when Kyrie? He runs the ball, right? And people, and this is how the league is, right? Most of the league they play out of position, but he can't keep going on. Like LeBron, when you go Lakers, he runs point or he gives it to Shuffle, what his name is, whatever that guy's name, right?
Schroeder.
He lets him because LeBron I'll just run off some screens, but never again I'll get the ball and bring it up. But he confident and trust that guy. So now we're talking about trust. We're talking about chemistry, and the only two people I know they trust. It's Harden and Kevin Durant. They trust each other, which is weird because Kyrie been there the longest. Even Kevin Durant was out for the injuries. So he ain't getting no respect. He was holding it down. And let's get it right. The Nets got into the playoffs last year. And even though he was injured, he contributed to that. So he don't feel like he getting no respect for that team. And he, like you said, Kyle, he feel like, say, this is my team. I'm going to show LeBron. And he ain't happening for you, bro. And he's realizing I'm a failure. I'm a failure. So it's not my fault. So he gonna start blaming all the coaches. He gonna blame everyone else. But if I was on that team, bro, I'm having a big team meeting. I'm telling Deontay Jordan, shut your mouth. Stop talking. I'm telling Kyrie, you need to be a leader. You need to start taking over. You need to start carrying the team. Let's run the offense through you run the plays, and everyone will run off that because everyone can cool. Because them guys, Harden and Durant, they happy wherever. They seem like they're just gonna do whatever. So we're gonna say because if Kyrie's all right, then I think the team's okay. You know what I mean? If he ain't all right, then they in trouble. So that's what's going on right now, and that's what I would do. But Steve Nash hasn't got that pull. I don't think he's got that connection with Kyrie like that. Kyrie's already sure he don't respect him. And it's to me when he came out in the press and they asked him where he at, he didn't have to say what he did. He didn't have to say that. He could say, where is it? Because the something's going wrong, and management will tell you that later on. Or he could have said, we'll bring that up at a later date. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have to answer the question, but he blatantly threw him underneath the bus. I don't know where he is. Couldn't tell you. Like, yo, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Bro, that's deep, bro. That's what I would do. And Kyrie would have heard about it. He's like, oh, he didn't throw me off the bus? Nah, he didn't. He kind of covered for him.
Bro.
That's what I would do. I would do a cover for him. I'd cover for him, but he didn't care.
Remember, because Kyrie threw him under the bus to begin the season.
All right, let me show you something. I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna show you some psychology, right? What I learned, in school. as a teacher, right, in my school, and I used to terrorize her all the time. I showed her no respect, right? Now, one day, right, I think it was my mom. It was a Parents' Day, and my mom came up, right? I'm thinking she gonna tear me down. You know what I'm saying? You know what this woman did to me? She said to my mom, EJ is the best ever. He's the best student ever. And bro, I felt so ashamed. I went out with tears in my eyes to her, why'd you say that? So nah, man, I know you want to do good, but you know what I'm saying? You just need some time. Bro, I never forgave that, bro. I always respected that. You know what I mean? Because I was horrible to her. From that day, I was never horrible to her again.
So did you
know what
change?
I'm saying? Yeah, I changed because I realized she's mature enough to hold back, and I was horrible. She was holding up. So when you go down to that level, you go there, and that's what he did. He spiked back, and that's where now you make it worse. You know what I'm saying? If he's being a kid, you don't be a kid as well. Why are you being a kid as well? Why are you rolling it up? That's what I'm trying to say to you. And I'm saying to you, he needs to go. And like in maturity, he would be, because the thing is, look about this. Steve Nash is an MVP, right? He's got his own ego. Says, who the frig is this guy talking to me? Kyrie's like, who am I? I got a ring. Who you got, bruh? In fact, when it comes down to who's the better player? Who's the better player? Steve Nash or Kyrie?
Says Kevin Durant picked him.
Yeah, I know, but who? Yeah, but what I'm saying, remember, it's a players' league, right? Steve Nash is only removed, like 5 years away or whatever, 10 years away. He was a player. So Kyrie's looking at it like, I'm better than him. I don't even rate him as a player. That's how it's going. That's what you're seeing right now.
Him in the first place, it's Kevin Durant. So Kevin Durant and Kyrie not on the same page. And like Khalil said, it was like a package. But Kevin Durant being the leader that he is, he's not a great leader. He doesn't have a strong personality.
That's what I'm saying is Kyrie and him they're squabbling in the press, right? So that shows that right there is bad.
Bro, he can never check Westbrook. He don't know how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
He let
Westbrook ran roughshod over him.
It's the missing thing, and the psychology behind it. He needs somebody there to check him. Like he has to tell his foot, because you think if LeBron James gonna check you, and you got to do it. It ain't like you want to fight the guy, but you gotta let him know.
But that's true. But
look at the two games this year against the Washington Wizards. Brooklyn lost both of those games, but there was a constant theme in the two games. And Washington is one of the worst teams in the league, but they managed to beat Brooklyn twice. And if you look at it, Russell Westbrook went right at Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, went right at him in both games to close out those games. And because Russell was showing you that he was the alpha the whole time. You can be the best player, Kevin Durant. We all know that. But he was the alpha on that team. That's just like when Kawhi Leonard went over there to the Toronto Raptors. Yeah, he was the best player. We all know that. But that was Kyle Lowry's team. You know what I'm saying? We all understood that Kyle Lowry has the personality and he has that alpha male trait. So like Kevin Durant doesn't have that alpha male trait because he's a mama's boy, bro. He grew up with his mother, like without his dad.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro.
You're right. Because you can see why he jumped ship, right? To another team. But I don't think but what we're saying is now we got too many, what do you call it? A mama's boys. We got too many mama's boys on one team. That's what we're saying, right? Huh?
Yeah, Kyrie grew up with his dad.
So who's the leader? So Steve, look, the leader of a team to me usually is the bloody coach. And I'm gonna go back on it. I'm telling you, the leader of the team. Yo, the leader of the team is usually the coach. Nah, I'm telling you. Look, Kyle, tell him. No, Kyle, tell me not, right? When it was Doc Rivers in Boston, no one fuck with Doc Rivers.
It was Doc Rivers' team. Like to me, Brooklyn should have hired somebody like a Mark Jackson or somebody with that display leadership as a coach. Because if you don't have it on the floor, like with that same Boston team you're talking about, you had a leader in Doc Rivers. That was his team, but you also had Durant, who knew how to lead players. He knew how to with the speeches and stuff. Like so, you always you got to have one on the floor. You got to have one on the bench. If you don't have one on the floor, you better have one on the bench. Like unless you're going to look like the Brooklyn Nets if you don't.
Yeah.
Like, and you see that as a prime example of no leadership. And I don't want to like disparage Durant because he said it. He said, "I'm not a leader. I just want to play basketball. Like, I'm not like LeBron. Like, I'm not a leader. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the LeBron or somebody." He even admitted it.
Exactly.
So from that standpoint, if you're Brooklyn and you know that this guy isn't a leader like that, because you look at the teams he was on, like you had Russell who was a leader, and then you go over there to Golden State who you got Draymond Green as the leader of that team, or Curry, and then you got Steve Kerr who has an alpha leadership because he played with Michael Jordan, so he knows what a leader is and how to galvanize a team. So Kevin Durant was always protected.
Well,
now you are not protected. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you got a good point because when Steve Kerr came over, he got rings to talk. He got 3 rings to talk, right? And he played under Phil Jackson. You're right. And this is what I'm trying to say. When Phil Jackson turned up in the Lakers, he rolls up with rings. When Pat Riley comes down for the office, everyone straightens up. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So when you see this, is what I'm saying. As Steve Nash at this point, he would have been good to go into a development team and starting his craft though, because he reminded me of Bradley. What's that guy from the Boston Celtics who started in college? Bradley, what's his name there? Bradley Stevenson, is that his name?
Brad Stevenson.
Yeah, Brad. He reminded me of them kind of guys there, where you leave him in a team where they ain't that good, so he can work his system and start gaining his respect. Because straight off the bat, if I'm a player, if I'm coming to a team and one of my players attack me, I ain't going at him on social media, bro. I'm like, where you at? I roll up to his face. Yo, what you saying, bro? What you mean, bro? I pull him to the side. What the fuck, bro? What you doing, bro? Me and him getting into it straight up, bro.
Yeah,
so I agree. I agree.
Bro. Don't ever disrespect me again, bro. Out in public, I do him dirty like that. And I go every time you talk shit, I'm just gonna come to your face. You hear what I'm saying? And let's go back. So let's go to Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant. Well, not Kevin Durant. Let's go to Kevin Garnett. Let's go to that statement. He said, right now, the players of the team couldn't play 20 or 30 years ago. What's your guys' state to that? Because I think he's right about to some.
Yeah, we talked about this yesterday on FYF. EJ, if you look at that show, we talked about this Kevin Garnett situation yesterday.
When it comes to that show, everyone's fighting to get their conversation out.
But no, this is how he'll do it, EJ. Like, he'll allow one person in, and then he'll let you speak your opinion. Yeah. And then he'll let another person in. So it's always a one-on-one, a one-by-one situation, so everybody can get their opinions out. And I think that's the best way to do it because, like you said,
I was one time, yeah. No, I hear what you're saying. I know he does that one at a time, but you know how it is when I watch. Sometimes it's like, yo, everyone's just piling in. So give me, yeah. So over here, we know we got the same energy. So you give me your take, and I want Jalik because Jalik's more this era. And me and you are kind of like, maybe the past couple of 10, 20 years old. Well, maybe Jalik is as well. So give me your take, and then Jalik, give me your take about what he said, Kevin Garnett.
I think Kevin Garnett has a good point, and who am I to question his word when he played in the NBA in both of the eras? He came in the 90s, so he got to play against the Michael Jordans, the Patrick Ewings, the Hakeem Olajuwons, all of those guys that were great in the 90s, the Karl Malones, etc. And then he played in this era where you had guys like LeBron and Durant and Steph Curry and all of these guys, Kawhi Leonard in this era. So he's seen both eras. And I think he's right because if you look at the way the 90s were, Michael Jordan was an outlier because you had guys that wasn't on his level athletically. Like, that's why he stood out above everybody else. And don't get me wrong, Michael Jordan was fantastic. But you didn't have that many guys with his level of athleticism. When you started to see, him sort of like at the bulk end of the 90s, when you saw Allen Iverson cross him over and hit that jumper in his face, and you saw Kobe Bryant did what he did to him, you started to get guys with that similar athleticism. Not to suggest that Allen Iverson was as athletic as Michael Jordan, but he had a unique skill set that you didn't see from Gary Payton and John Stockton and a lot of those point guards in the 90s, the Mark Jacksons and the Mookie Blaylocks and those type of guys, the Bimbo Coles, and like you didn't have that level of athleticism. So now in this era, you got guys like Gerald Green that used to play for Boston and play for a bunch of different teams. And you got guys like Zach LaVine. These are lower tier players with the similar athleticism as Michael Jordan. And you look at a guy like a Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis in the 90s, he fit that 90s style of play, but he would be similar to what Patrick Ewing is. Like Patrick Ewing would have to guard him. And if you think Patrick Ewing would stay in front of him, you're kidding yourself. Like he would torch Patrick Ewing. Like Kevin Durant is 7 foot tall. These are the type of guys that would have to match up against the Elijah Wans and the Rick Smiths and all of them different 7-footers in the 90s. Like those guys wouldn't be able to guard these dudes in this era. Like these guys are 7 foot tall with jump shots who can put the ball on the floor and facilitate for everybody else. Patrick Ewing wasn't doing that. Rick Smiths wasn't doing that. But Dikembe Mutombo and those guys, Alonzo Mourning, those type of players weren't doing that. Like they were one-dimensional players. In this era, these guys, every big man just about has a jump shot, with the exception of maybe Giannis, who's not that good of a jump shooter, but he can semi-space the floor. But if you look at guys like Joker and Porzingis and Embiid and like these bigger centers, these guys have a lot of skill set. Like they can pass the ball, they can shoot, they can create off the dribble, like they can get to the rim from the 3-point line. Like it's way more evolutionized in this game. Like these players are just better in this era, period. Like don't get me wrong, I grew up watching the 90s, but a lot of those guys were limited. Like you look at the Damian Lillards, the John Morants, the Kyrie Irvings, the Stephen Currys. Like look at these point guards in this era compared to the 90s era, where you had Jason Kidd and John Stockton and Gary Payton. Like Gary Payton would be Patrick Beverly in this era with a better offensive game to him. Like he wouldn't be a standout point guard in this era. Not with these guys like Donovan Mitchell and all of these. Russell Westbrook is another one. Like these guys are athletic as hell and they're highly skilled. Like Allen Iverson was the best ball handler in the 90s, and Tim Hardaway. You look at these guys, look at Kyrie Irving and the way he dribbles the ball and is able to manipulate defenses and get around the defense and score at the rim. You look at Steph Curry, who's an underrated dribbler, and Donovan Mitchell. Like these guys are way more skilled in this era than they were in the 90s at that position, specifically at point guard. So, like, I think Kevin Garnett is valid in what he was saying. Like, a lot of those guys wouldn't be able to hold their own in this era. You'll have guys like Latrell Sprewell and Jamal Mashburn and Allen Houston. Like, some of those guys will be good in this era. But I'll give you a perfect example. Like, you look at a guy like like John Stockton. John Stockton wouldn't be as effective as he was in the 90s. He would be Ricky Rubio in this era. He would be just another point guard in this era because this is a point guard driven league. Like, so back then it was more center oriented and big man oriented. Now it's like at guard position and wing position, it's the dominant species in this era. And a lot of those guys wouldn't be able to compete. Like Grant Hill would be fine in this era, but he wouldn't be no quote unquote superstar. He would be just like a Paul George or something like that to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, or even Reggie Miller, like he was one of the most dominant two guards back then. Do you think he's getting over Dwayne Wade and all of these guys? Like he would be just another guy.
Yeah, you really believe that, bro? You really believe that?
Yeah, I do because I've seen these guys.
I'm gonna tell you like this. The dudes, some of the dudes you mentioned, the Hall of Famers, and the one what killed me was the Patrick Ewing one against Giannis, right? And I'm like, did you see Patrick Ewing when he was in his prime? Because I swear when I saw Patrick, he was old as dirt. And he's post up. See, the thing is, all those the 3-point shots, him running into the lane, he'll get put on his ass against Patrick Ewing. And then Patrick would post his ass up all day long. Yeah, that's what happened. 7 foot, he'd back him down and dunk all over him. The dude's is a skinny, tall guy. He ain't got no base. Yeah, but Patrick Ewing got more pivot, medium range jump shot behind him. He couldn't guard that. But I hear what you're saying, though. The dudes have got skills. But what it is, the game they have, all the guys back then, their game was more complete. These guys don't even post up. How the heck they gonna play anything and they keep running to the ring? And Grant Hill, Paul George, nah, bro. Dude, look, them dudes there, yeah, were complete game, bro. You know what I'm saying to you? They didn't have the 3-point. But other than that, they could block shot. They played defense at a real.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
I'm saying that is what I'm saying like this, right? Them dudes, yeah, could play like Grant Hill and them new guys in the 90s. They could play now. They could play now and they could put numbers up. Penny Hardaway, Tim Hardaway, John Stockton, would be a problem because see John Stockton, in this day and age, he does all the intangible guys don't do. Like he is a fucking annoying. He'll do back screens on big centers. He don't care. He does all them things. Ricky Rubio don't do none of that. And he plays. He plays a team. He plays team system. So him and Coach Sloan, I used to watch them and I see them die. You see, when I saw them dissect the Lakers, who was full of talent, they beat the Lakers 2 seasons back to back with Karl Malone because they were just efficient, right? They just knew what they were supposed to do, pick and roll, and up to now that pick and roll was never stopped. So here's what I'm trying to say to you. Them dudes could be efficient. These days don't care. They're very lackadaisical these days. They shoot threes from the halfway line. That's the most they do. The defense, all it is rotate. All everyone cares about is looking at the offense or looking at the ball game. Back in the 90s, they were more defensive oriented. The scores are not high because they used to focus on defense a lot. And this is what I said about with Steve Nash and the thing. And that's what I said about their system. These guys here, they ain't got these boys playing no fucking defense and no one's being held accountable. But going back to Kevin Garnett, right, about the eras and stuff like that. The dudes these days, if they played in the olden days, they get beat the fuck out of because them guys will let you come into the lane and you shoot your freeze. Cool, shoot your freeze, but you gonna stay out there. Damn, crossing over, coming in the lane. You need to Iverson. How many times Iverson's broken bones, put on his back every single? That's what they'll be doing. Dudes these days, they'll be in hospitals, man. But I'm just saying.
Yeah, but EJ, back then they was allowed to play hand checking. Once they eliminated that hand checking, you saw the scoring go
hand checking was gone like the hand checking was gone around about 96. After that, they stopped it around 96. So I'm more talking just after the hand checking where they were that. I wasn't down with the hand checking because the game was ugly them times there. So just off the hand checking, when there was no hand checking from 96 onwards, all into the 2000s, they were nice. Them boys could play, but the hand checking, that was all on the post ups and all that. They were allowed to slap and all that stuff. But I think the dudes back then, they were more complete because their games had to be post up because it was very hard to score. Like they're very difficult to score on some of them defensive teams. So you had to be way efficient. And the medium range had to be locked. Your free throws had to be locked. You had to rebound at a high rate. Your defense. So they were more focused on that than they were on this day and age where they're focused on 3-point. Go ahead, Jalik. Jump in.
Yeah, y'all both made some good points. I'll see if we break it down. Like, let's start from the center position. Hakeem Olajuwon playing now. I think he can do it because his defense, in my opinion, was much better than Patrick Ewing. And we know nowadays having a defensive specialist on your team is amazing. And he also got great footwork and he can score. So he won't be as much of a liability than, say, Patrick Ewing, where you can take him all on the wing with guys like the Joker. So that's going to be a matchup nightmare for Patrick Ewing, and he probably get himself in foul trouble. So Patrick Ewing, I don't think will do as good, but Olajuwon, yes. But then you also have guys like Detlef Schrempf, who was versatile back then. I think Detlef Schrempf would do very well in Rick Smith's because Rick Smith's got a jumper. But Rick Smith always had bad knee problems as well, too. So you'll give up some defense, but I think Rick Smith would do well. That's just at the center position. And at the power forward position, with somebody like Karl Malone do good. He would score, but Karl Malone he got rebounds, but he wasn't really known for having like great defense. And if you take away the pick and roll, what is he going to be able to do? Now, the best at pick and roll right now is Jamal Murray and the Joker. They got their pick and roll down, so it actually can work. It's just that they trying to shoot 3-pointers, which AJ, I get tired of that, bro. I'm not gonna lie, but that's how it is because the guys are skilled, bro. The Joker literally almost averaged a triple double, and I see that this year his points went up by 9 points. I won't be surprised in 2 seasons he's gonna average a triple double, bro. That's unheard of as a center.
Yep.
Unbelievable. So he can definitely play.
Tim Duncan got quadruples. Tim Duncan was getting quadruples, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he didn't average
four different categories. Yeah, he averaged like over. He was nearly averaging a triple double. You know what I mean?
Robinson? Okay. Well, as far as
Tim Duncan. But go ahead.
Okay, but as far as the rules back then, you're right about that. It was way more rugged. Yeah. So a lot of guys driving into the lane,
Fuck that shit. Yeah,
they wouldn't do it. However, a lot of guys don't drive to the basket no more because they got the gimmick 3-point shooting. So they'll be able to get their shot off. Somebody like Reggie Miller would definitely be able to play now because he moves so well after without the ball. Steph Curry has a little Reggie Miller in him, and they both can shoot very well. It's just that Reggie Miller is game, bro. He's a game. Like Reggie Miller nowadays would be the truth. Like he would be the truth. He probably win the MVP because he can shoot so well, and he got the.
You going too far, bro. No, he wouldn't have.
No.
Let him go ahead.
Proof right now because he going off pick, and when it's prime time, he comes up, and then he has a way of showing up for big games. A lot of times people shrink. As much as great as Stephen Curry is, when it comes to the playoffs, what happens to him? He shrinks. Now, somebody like Iverson is big game. It don't matter the game. It don't matter. When the playoffs get here, he's going to put up numbers. Remember the series against him in Toronto and him against Milwaukee with Big Dog Robinson and Ray Allen? Iverson is, trust me, bro, Iverson will be better now. He will be better in this league than he was, and he was playing with the big guns. So certain players would fit in. The advantage that they had back in the day is the actual rules. Right now, they got more, they skillful because Joel Embiid got a jumper. Now, if you had Olajuwon with a 3-point shot, that'd be fake, bro. He would win probably like 5 or 6 MVPs because Olajuwon he's special, man. So it just depends on how you look at it. But I agree that the guys now, in my opinion, are more skillful because Charles Barkley, with him dribbling the ball like that, I'm not sure how good he'll really be like that. He dribbled too much and back you down. That he don't let it flow. He like Carmelo Anthony. You see, Carmelo Anthony isn't as effective. So that's how Charles Barkley is. He dribble back you down. So I don't think he would be as great.
Yeah, I want to go back to the Steve Nash thing. I mean, not the Steve Nash, but the John Stockton. Stockton, like,
oh yeah.
In this era, these guys hunt out matchups. If you telling me that John Stockton would be just as good or better in this era, you're kidding yourself because he would get hunted out for mismatches every single time down the court. And back in his day, the defense was okay. Like the 90s defense is so overinflated. Like all of those teams weren't great defensive teams. Like you had a handful of those teams that were great defensive teams, but not all of them. And to me, it ain't even to me, this is a fact. The 2000s, the mid 2000s was the best defensive era in NBA history. People like to attribute that to like the 80s. The 80s were more physical, where you had guys like Kurt Rambis getting clotheslined out the air. That wasn't really a defensive era because if you look at a lot of those scores in the 80s, those scores would be like how some of the scores are now, like in the high 120s and 30s and all that shit. And in the ABA days, you had a lot of high scoring games in those eras too. But to me, a guy, because like John Stockton was really slow. So if going up against a Donovan Mitchell, so let's put him in the Western Conference and put him on Utah. Even in his practices, let's say Donovan Mitchell get drafted by Utah. So he would be getting torched in his own practices on his own team because he's too slow. He didn't play any defense. He was a smaller guard. So like, look at the guards in the Western Conference. You got John Morant. You got Stephen Curry. You had at the time James Harden. You had Russell Westbrook. You had Damian Lillard. Like it's way too many guards over there. Even now with De'Aaron Fox and Luka, like these guards would destroy John Stockton. He would get absolutely destroyed. So like to me, like it's certain guys. Like I give you the Hakeem Olajuwon. Like Hakeem Olajuwon was an outlier in the 90s because he was so skillful at that position. He could shoot. He could play with his back to the basket. And he was one of the two players who won Defensive Player of the Year and the MVP all of the same season. The other one was Michael Jordan. So I give you him. He would be good in this era. But Reggie Miller winning any type of MVP is blasphemous. Like that dude would be okay. He wouldn't be this good dominant dude because he was the reason why Reggie Miller got all his props was because he played good against Michael Jordan and the Bulls. He didn't do that against everybody. As a matter of fact, Vashawn Leonard and Glenn Rice were better 3-point shooters than Reggie Miller were in the 90s.
Yeah, that's
he just got Dude, Reggie Miller would be okay in this era. He wouldn't come close to an MVP. He wouldn't come close because name me something else that Reggie Miller can do besides move without the ball and come off screens. Name some other attributes that he knew how to do.
He can shoot very well.
That's it.
He didn't have great defense. Most players don't, but he was in the same draft as Scottie Pippen. And Scottie Pippen would do good, but
yeah, Scottie would do great in this era because he's a wing player.
Kyrie Irving, look at Kyrie Irving. He can't play without the ball. You really think Kyrie Irving, what he's doing, he has a little bit of success, but imagine Reggie Miller that can actually.
Yeah, but Jalik, the thing is that Kyrie Irving is way more skillful than Reggie Miller was. Like he's way more skillful. Like, dude, Reggie Miller wasn't breaking people down off the dribble like Kyrie Irving.
He just dribble better. That's it.
Yeah, but he's more of a versatile scorer, Jalik. Like he could get to the rim and finish around contact. But Reggie Miller couldn't do that.
Well, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Steph Curry don't drive to the basket as great, but look how he can score.
Yeah, but he's more versatile because he can pass and make plays for everybody else.
Play without the ball, so I mean, what is he gonna do? This dude don't need the ball. He like Richard Hamilton coming off screen.
He would be Richard Hamilton. I'll give you that. He would be like a Richard Hamilton. He's not as skilled as Kyrie Irving and Stephen Curry. Nowhere near.
3-pointers, bro. Like the dude can shoot very well.
He was a good shooter in the 90s. Like I said, Vashawn Leonard and Glenn Rice were better than him.
Now, like if you know how to shoot, you know how to shoot, bro.
Yeah, no, he would be good in this era too, Jalik. You misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm not saying he wouldn't be good. He would be good. But to suggest that this dude would be a superstar in this league is blasphemous because I watched Reggie Miller's whole career from A to Z. That dude couldn't dribble for real. He couldn't play defense. He couldn't really pass. He wasn't a rebounder. He couldn't do nothing outside of shoot the basketball. So for him to be an MVP is blasphemous. He wouldn't even be a top 10 player in this league right now. He wouldn't even be top 10. No. He wouldn't even be top 15.
You say he only made his name off Jordan. That's not true.
Dude, go look at the other series. What other series did he dominate where he was hitting clutch shots? Listen, what was those series?
Go back when Chuck Person was going against Larry Bird, bro. Reggie Miller was on that team with Chuck Person. You sleeping on Reggie? Yo, bro, you gotta put some respect on Reggie Miller's name.
Dude, Reggie Miller shouldn't even be in the Hall of Fame. He shouldn't even be in the Hall of Fame.
You're trolling, bro. You got
go and look at. Okay, so let's do this. Jalik, we'll do this. Jalik, we'll do this. Right now, I'm gonna look up Reggie Miller's numbers. I'm gonna look his numbers up.
Work, girl. You said that you was doing. I respected you, but we gotta set this.
I'm gonna look at his numbers, bro.
Trolling. You are trolling. I know Reggie Miller. I know this basketball, bro. Listen, he would be amazing. That's a skill. Steph Curry don't play in the playoffs. He fold up. Reggie Miller go to a whole nother level, bro. I'm telling you, he can. He will have your defense going crazy. It's easier to defend against Kyrie Irving than it is against Reggie Miller.
All right, so this is his numbers. This is his career numbers. Okay, he scored 18 points a game with 3 rebounds, 3 assists. He shot 47%. That's awful. 47%. You know how bad that is. That's not good. For a guy that you said that was so amazing. Why is he only shooting 47% from the field? That's not good. That's
good as a shooter. Name a shooter. There's not too many shooters that's shooting 50%. That's exceptional, and he only off by 3 percentages. Steph Curry is one, but I don't think he averages 50%. He has some 50, 40, 90 seasons, but average. Look at Kevin Durant. He's a good shooter, but the average 50%, that's very rare. That's kind of rare as an actual shooter. Now, if you to the basket and getting, that's different. But as a
3-point shooter, Reggie Miller was a good 3-point shooter in the 90s. Like the guy was a specialist. This was back when you had the specialist era, like the Reggie Millers, the Sean Leonards.
With that level of defense. The defense
in the 90s, y'all keep overinflating this.
No. Let me rephrase it. Let me see what the rules, because it's a pussy league now. If you touch somebody, you get a foul. It's like it's different. So now with you can barely touch somebody, get a foul. It would be different though.
So okay, so Jalik, to compare and contrast. So Reggie Miller was a perimeter player. He wasn't getting fouled like that because he wasn't going to the rim like that. He was a perimeter player. So that would apply to somebody like a Shaq or a Hakeem or a David Robinson. That would apply to somebody like that, or even a Michael Jordan, or like guys that went to the hole. Reggie Miller wasn't really going to the rim all like that. Like he was a perimeter player. So to suggest that the 90s defense somehow made him look even better, because like that's not true, because this guy wasn't getting fouled all like that. Like he wasn't hitting the deck. Like I don't remember seeing Reggie Miller coming off the floor a whole lot of times because he wasn't a physical guy. And like I said, like he would do good in this era, but he wouldn't be at the top of the leaderboards and all of that shit because this guy was okay in his era. Like he was a specialist in his era. Like he wasn't as skilled as these guys are. Like look at somebody, like look at the people he would have to defend in this era. He would have to defend guys like fucking Jimmy Butler and Jaylen Brown and like all of these guys who could do a multitude
they would have to defend him, and they're going to be fucking tired.
Yeah, but all he could do is come off ball screens and stuff.
To defend him, you got to have the old Kawhi Leonard conditioning to even keep up with him.
All of these guys are conditioned in this era, bro. They take care of themselves. Jaylen Brown and them dudes be playing like upwards of 40 minutes a night.
But it's against ain't no Reggie Millers in the league that's gonna be making you work for it. It's totally
no, when you got guys that shoot better from three than Reggie Miller did. Y'all think Reggie Miller is just this
yo EJ set this up, man. Listen, we can debate this, bro. We can set it up one-on-one. I want you, Khalil, bro, because you crazy, bro.
We debating right now. It's already set up.
I gotta work, bro. I gotta work.
Oh, okay.
My client, I gotta work. We can set it up. EJ, set this up, bro. He got to put some respect on Reggie Miller name, and I'm gonna break it down some more for you because I'm freestyling now because I'm getting ready for work.
I am too. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you numbers to back up what I'm saying. Like I'm just giving you an overdraft of his career. Like it's a lot of 3-point shooters in this league. Like y'all misinterpreting what I'm saying. He would be good in this era because he has the ability to shoot threes. Like so, he would fit in this era. But I'm telling you, I know for a fact he wouldn't be, because look at what his era was. He was considered the best 3-point shooter in his era. Why didn't he come close to winning an MVP in his own era? In this era, you got guys who actually shoot better from three-pointer than he does, and they're not even considered MVPs in his era. So, and they got more skills than him. So how is he not an MVP in his era, but he's going to come into an era with way more skilled players at his position and win an MVP over those guys? It's not happening. It's not going to happen.
All the rules is inducive to people scoring a whole lot of points where they just got all this gimmick stuff. So with him doing that, it will be totally different. We can set up the debate. Tell EJ, man, I got to break out here, take my dog out, then I got to break out to a client, man.
All right,
bro. Maybe you'll be on tonight. If I get a chance to be on tonight, I think EJ gonna go live with Indiana Pacers in the Brooklyn.
Oh, they got tonight too, though. They got a back-to-back. They're gonna lose that one.
But yeah, I'll definitely be on though. All right, Cleo.
All right, bro. Take care, man.
Mary's out, bro. Get your apps out.
All right, bro. Take care, man. EJ. Yeah, man. I like Jalik, man. He a cool brother, man, but I don't see it. Like Reggie Miller was good in the 90s. Like, don't get me wrong, he would fit in this era because of his ability to shoot and come off ball screens, but he would be just like he was in the 90s. He would be just a specialist, because outside of coming off ball screens and shooting threes, Reggie Miller really doesn't provide anything else. Like, he wanted to make the comparison to Curry and Kyrie Irving, but those guys are highly skilled. They can do more than just shoot. Like, Kyrie Irving is the best ball handler, arguably, in the history of the NBA, outside of maybe Tim Hardaway and Allen Iverson. Like, that guy is a lot more skilled than Reggie Miller can, and he has the ability to make plays for others. Reggie Miller wasn't doing all of that. Like, even a guy like compared to Curry, like Curry is a highly skilled player that can do more. Like, Curry's offensive game get masked because of his ability to shoot threes. People don't realize how good Stephen Curry is at creating for others. Like, this guy can easily average over 10 assists a game if he wanted. But his role on the team is reduced to scoring because they don't have Klay Thompson at this current time. Like, he should have made the comparison to Klay Thompson before he made the comparison to Curry, because Reggie Miller is nowhere close to Stephen Curry's skill level. He would have been better off making a comparison with Klay Thompson because he's a specialist. That would have been more of a good comparison. But to compare and say that Reggie Miller is on Curry's level is blasphemous. He's not even close. He's not even close, bro. Like, he couldn't even win an MVP in his own era, and he was considered the best three-point shooter in the 90s. In this era, you have a lot of guys that can shoot just as good, if not better, than Reggie Miller, and they're not in MVP conversations. Like, you look at a guy like James Harden. James Harden won MVPs, but James Harden can do more than Reggie Miller, and so can Curry winning back-to-back MVPs. He can do more than Reggie Miller. So you got guys who can do more than him that's winning in this era, or even a Russell Westbrook who can rebound at his position. You know what I'm saying? He can't shoot nowhere near as good as Reggie Miller, but he's a better facilitator and a better rebounder than Reggie Miller was. So he has a particular skill set that's better than Reggie Miller's. Like, Reggie Miller was good in his era. He was a specialist, and he would be the same in this era. He would be a three-point specialist. Like, he would be like a Klay Thompson, or even like a Duncan Robinson, or a JJ Redick. He would be equivalent to one of those type of guys who can come off screens, who can move without the ball and shoot at an effective clip coming off the ball. Like, that's what he would be compared to, because outside of that, Reggie Miller's not giving you anything else. He's not giving you defense. He's not giving you playmaking at his position. He's not breaking defenses down, drawing contact and getting to the rim. He's not getting rebounds. Like, he's not doing any of those things. And he definitely wouldn't do it in this era with guys that were highly skilled in this era. He's not going to do it.
Who you talking about? What's going on?
Jalik, me and Jalik just had a mini debate. He said he had to roll out, but he wanted to set up a debate with me and him in regards to Reggie Miller, and how good was Reggie Miller. So I pulled out some of Reggie Miller's stats, and Jalik really didn't answer him. But
when we came back to the 90s thing, when he says Reggie Miller, I was like, why? Why you say Ray Allen, bro? Why you say Ray? You say Ray? I think Ray Allen could play well in.
Ray Allen would right? Really
he
was
well
very.
He was very
he was real athletic. He was very
athletic. He was very athletic, and he was very good. He could play well. He reminded me of Klay Thompson, but he Klay Thompson is nice, bro. See, I look at this, right? Some of them dudes now, they could play back then in the night. Klay Thompson could definitely play his game. Steph could play. You know what I mean? Harden could play. You know what I'm saying? Not Harden. Westbrook could definitely play.
Westbrook would tear the 90s up.
He would play, bro. He would put in his back a lot, bro. He would put in his back a lot, though. You know what I'm saying? He would put in his back a lot, though. So, like, a lot of them guys. But I think, people like to talk old. Sometimes I like sometimes I like talking with the old in the past and stuff like that. But that's over and done with. It just keeps people relevant and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, that's what it is. So you know what I'm saying. But other than that, man, I mean, I'm gonna probably watch the end of the game kind of slightly. I was gonna cover it. I was like, nah, it's not. I'm waiting for the big game between the Lakers. I want to see the Nets versus the Lakers. That's like a must watch. That's gonna be on February the 8th, on the 16th. Or the 18th, whatever, and then I want to watch the Clipper game. That's one. But I know I see them versus the Clippers, but I'm more interested in seeing LeBron because I want to see how they're gonna do against LeBron, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because LeBron, when he see Kevin Durant, and he remember how they beat him in Golden State, his eyes gonna open up wide, bro. I remember you, bro. I remember how you done me. You denied Cleveland. You denied me in Cleveland a second ring, ain't it? So I'm like, LeBron ain't got no mercy for y'all, bro. None. And Kyrie,
LeBron likes to play chess. This was what LeBron would do because he did it to the Clippers last year, and I kept telling people this. Yeah. LeBron will let you win. Like, he'll probably let Brooklyn win just to feel good about themselves. But when it come time to really win, he gonna take their hearts out. That's what he did to the Clippers last year. Yeah. He let them win the first couple of games. But then when it started to rev up and the playoffs started to get close, he beat him, and then he beat him in the bubble. He had a game winner against him in the bubble. Man. So LeBron is a chess player, bro. He'll make you feel good. He let Kawhi Leonard feel real good about himself. Oh yeah, I'm the king of LA, blah 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 blah. Yep. And then when it came down to it, who was in the finals winning another ring? It was LeBron and the Lakers, and the Clippers were sitting at home watching it.
And you know what's funny? You see, like all every teams do, all these NBA haters do. Skip Bayless does sit there foaming their mouth. How can we stop LeBron? Because we know he gonna pass Jordan, and we can't have that. No, we can't. I go, bro, you ain't stopping this kid, bro. You ain't stopping him. And now he's with the Lakers organization who have money and players. They remember before Lakers would be terrible. LeBron came and cleared all that mess, like you said, cleared all that mess up, got them straight. Like Cleveland, if Cleveland would have had that sort of mindset, LeBron would have been there now. But Cleveland have a small mindset. You know what I'm saying? Miami started thinking they were nice, better than they were. You know what I mean? If they had respect for LeBron, they wouldn't have got. They could have kept him. You know what I mean? And now Lakers, they treat LeBron like gold, bro. They ain't trying. Because like look at Kobe. They let the man retire. They ain't gonna do him like they did New York. They trade Patrick Ewing to Seattle and let him go to Orlando. No, we gonna keep LeBron until we burn out like we did Kobe. We gonna keep him to the end and let him retire as a Laker. Because the thing is, people Lakers organization. He ain't trying to replace thingy. He's just trying to do his own legacy. He's got his own free team NBA champions. Ain't no one did that in history. They were talking about Kawhi. He over in the Clippers, and Clippers ain't either worse. See, he would have been. Listen, if he was in Toronto, every year that would have been at finals. Every year.
That's why I was telling people, like, I don't know why he left, bro. Like, that was a mistake. And like I was telling people back in 2016 when the Cavs won, in 2017, back when we used to be on your channel, and you had guys like Umar and all of them, I was trying to explain to them, like, y'all think if he go to the Western Conference, it wouldn't be the same. Like, it's the same now, and he's older than he was. So just imagine if LeBron was in his prime in the West. Like, the amount of the rings he would have won, his record wouldn't look the way it looked at 4-6. Like, he would have a much polished record, and he would win just like he went over there. His first year, he got hurt, so they didn't make the playoffs. His second year, they got the best record in the West, and they win the championship. This year, they got the best record in the league, and they on pace to win another championship. And this is LeBron as an old man doing this. So just imagine if he was in his physical prime. Right now, he's in his mental prime. But if he was in his physical prime, the same thing would happen. And that's all I was trying to tell those dudes, because for a long time, people were saying, oh, he couldn't do that in the Western Conference. And now he's doing that in the Western Conference. And now people still want to make and move the goalposts and make more excuses. It's just like, no, y'all say he couldn't do this at all. He went over there, and within 2 years, he won a championship, and he's on pace to win a second championship in the West. Like, that's unheard of, especially as a guy that's 35, that's been in the league as long as he have, and logged the third most minutes in NBA history. Like, that's unheard of. But you see him doing it because LeBron is a leader. Like, he's a true leader. Durant is not a leader. Like, Durant has a much better team than the Cavs.
I ain't even writing Durant, bro. That's what I said to you. I ain't even writing Durant. I ain't writing Kyrie. I'm writing the coaching staff, and that's it. Because I've seen bare teams when they have like really good players, and they can galvanize them to get them on the right page, and that's where it comes down to. You know what I mean? You got to put teams in. Even Doc Rivers, right? He had two guys playing the same position, right? And it just didn't work, right? So now they seem like they're playing more in sync now, right? They're playing more in sync now, but even still, they still couldn't beat the Nets when the Nets was even full game. They still losing. So it didn't make no sense having two guys who play small forward, but I want to play with my friend. That's what Kawhi said. I'm going to play the Clippers. And the whole thing, the Clippers, the whole last year, they're walking around like they won the NBA championship already.
Yep.
And LeBron was putting hard work in, making sure everything was working, making sure AD was okay. Because LeBron said, I ain't going to do it by myself. I need my AD. Making sure AD healthy, Codrea Pope, putting places together, building chemistry, putting everything in place that we can make a run. And all they will walk around like they made it already, bro.
Like they won already, and that's what backfired.
And they see this is the thing with the Nets. They realizing that you trying to be the Clippers now, and you ain't even that, bro. That's how bad it is. It's like Skip Bayless walking around, this, that, the other. So that's why I'm just sitting there watching the Nets. Because last year, all I cared about is the Clippers and Lakers. Now it's the Nets. I'm looking at the Nets like, yo, you ain't beating LeBron. I don't care. Even if you get it together, LeBron gonna hand it to you. Because I look, funny thing about it, even how bad they are, they're third, right? They still beating all the top teams. I've seen them beat Miami. They the top team. I see them beat Milwaukee. They're the top team, right? And I see them beat the Clippers.
They beat Boston too.
Yeah, they beat Boston too. So you know they nice, right? So they can beat the top teams, but then they losing back to back against Cleveland. And that's when it was going down. I was like, yo, bro. So what do you? It's like you know what it is, Kyle. It's like they take the eye off the ball. It's like, oh, we beat the top teams. We
Yep.
gonna rest now. We gonna rest now. Nah, bruh.
You
Nah,
know who
bruh.
that remind me of, EJ?
Yeah.
That remind me of the Clippers last year because they was the same way. They would beat the top teams and then they would lose to subpar teams. I'd never seen a championship team consistently lose to bad teams the way these teams do now. The Clippers last year and these Brooklyn Nets, they continuously lose. You lost to like I said, Cleveland is the worst ranked offense in the NBA. You lost to them twice. You lost to Detroit last night. You're probably going to lose to Indiana tonight. Like I've never seen a championship caliber team lose continuously to bad teams. Like they're not going to win a championship this year. I know a lot of people want to see them do it because they want to see LeBron lose again, but it's just not going to happen because Brooklyn doesn't have a bench. The Lakers have one of the best benches in the league, and the Lakers' main identity is on defense, and that's what won them the championship last year. Like the Clippers, to me, was the more talented team on paper, but the Clippers lack defensive intangibles because those guys were constantly out of position. And they didn't know, like Kawhi Leonard and them didn't accept those challenges. Like you saw LeBron James guard Jamal Murray down the stretch of some of those games against the Nuggets. You didn't see Paul George and Kawhi Leonard do that because that they didn't want to identify as defensive players. Like even though they're two of the better perimeter defender players, but they didn't take challenges. Like the Lakers won, and they're going to win it this year because of their defense. Like they got the best defense in the league. And that's what their identity is first. Like they can score, like, but they rather play defense because that'll never go away. That's all effort. Like the Clippers don't put the effort in, just like Brooklyn. They don't put the effort in, so they're not going to win a championship. Yeah, they're going to compete, and it's going to be a good series. Like this is what I hope. I hope that the Lakers get Luka in the first round so they can dispatch Luka and get him out the way. Then I want them.
Yeah, go ahead.
Then I want them to get. I want them to get Phoenix in the second round so they can get Chris Paul and them out of there. And then I want them to get the Clippers and get them out of there. And then I want them to get Durant and all of them in the finals and get them up out of there. And if LeBron James does this, he is without the shadow of a doubt the best player ever in NBA history. Like it's not even a debate.
He's over. Let me tell you something, right? What he's doing already it's uncharted. Even Jordan weren't doing this, right? Because Jordan, it shows to me, it's like Jordan, as great as he is, he needed a system. He needed certain players around him to win. LeBron don't need that. Don't need that. Just give the ball to LeBron. He'll come in there and clean the whole thing up because he's 6'8", small forward, can play all the positions. He can make loads of people better. Like Jordan, for all his good things, Jordan's good at being Jordan and in the system playing with Pippen. You know what I mean? And then people, another thing about Jordan, people want to play. Like Jordan say, I don't want to play with all these people because Jordan has that sort of arrogance. LeBron's like, no, I could play with anyone, any era, and we could be nice. You know what I'm saying? So LeBron's one of them players. He's always been a team player. But for me, I'm not trying to say he like one over the other. But for me, if you ask me who I'd rather play with, I'd rather play with I'd rather play with LeBron. Like at least if I play with LeBron, I'm gonna see the ball.
Yeah, you're gonna get the ball.
Position, you're gonna get the ball. So you have to look at it like this, right? What LeBron's doing, like when there's certain milestones he gonna be, right? When this is one thing when he shuts down. If he beats Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record, which is on course for, right, beating him on points, then you can't say nothing but the GOAT right there. Because see the Kareem, everyone knows they bring the Michael Jordan, but really the GOAT of the GOAT is Kareem, bro. Kareem, Bill Russell, them kind of guys, the rings and all that stuff, right? But LeBron's got it being the finals the most times, whatever. But bringing the rings behind him, so LeBron needs to get 6 rings. Nah, he don't need to get 6 rings, bro.
No, he don't.
He's already in 3 different teams already, bro. You know what I'm saying? If he beats Kareem's record in terms of the points, then he can sit heavy because I can tell you right now, ain't no one beating that record because they don't allow high school players in the league no more. So how that gonna happen?
And then guys sustain a lot of injuries. Like Durant got 26,000 points, but he stays injured a lot and he misses a lot of games. So like he'll come. I think Durant in this era, out of the guys in this era, I think Durant will come the closest to LeBron. Like he will finish with like 30,000, but like guys like Steph only has like 17,000 points. So he's never going to get there.
Yeah, but you see what I'm saying? Them boys there, they I don't know how you gonna beat them sort of records when you're a high school player. When Kobe was a high school player, they stopped putting high school players in, one and done. The college players are not like that no more. The league is a bit softer. The league is completely softer, and it seems like everyone in me is happy to play each other. There's no real spite. The only spite I hear is TNT when Shaq and them are dissing the players. You know what I'm saying? Or when we go out, but what's happened though, Kyle? We get caught up a lot of times and listen to the media, and we go at players, and I ain't doing it no more. Not me. I've been a coach, and I know if that was me in this responsibility, it's my duty to solve this stuff. And Steve actually like, well, it's not me. The players should sort it themselves. I'm like, nah, bro. You know what I mean? You used to be a former player, and the coach, you're an extension of the coach. So let me ask you this: who's an extension of Steve Nash on the team right now?
Honestly, EJ, they don't have one because, like I said, like Durant said that he doesn't want to be. He's not a leader. He just wants to play basketball.
No, I know that. But who would you? Because again,
it would have to be James Harden because James Harden played under the D'Antoni system.
Yeah, but no, but Steve Nash. No, Steve Nash. That's what we're talking about.
I know, but I'm saying like they run the same type. So
the answer is no one. That's what
nobody. No.
Okay, there you ask the answer. No one. So there you go. That's what it is. Because usually, give you an example. Greg Popovich, he had Duncan, right? Greg Popovich, he has Aldridge. You see what I'm saying? You look at all the coaches, they have an extension guy who's an extension of them on the Denver team. He's got Joker. And the other guy, Murray, right? So, and you have Utah, you have them guys there. You have Donovan, and you have the other guy. What's his name? Gobert, yeah. They're an extension of the coach. They coach said this, coach says that. They always kind of bigging up their coach. They treat their coach with all much respect. In this team, I don't hear that. And that's what I said to you. He needs to go. If they bring another coach in who they respect, then I'll start seeing better results. But even saying that, with the talent, this is why they're how good they are. They ain't even playing 100%. They're still third in the bloody East. You know what I'm saying? So that's even like, and they're on a losing streak, and they still number third. I'm like, yo, bruh. So that's
because the East is real top heavy, but it's still kind of like
but that's still like, you know what I'm saying? They third, right? So they can beat good top teams when they're ready. So they definitely a thing. But it's like Steve Nash. Brother, either he needs to go or he needs to buck up and start manning up, and you know what I'm saying, bringing D'Antoni, because Steve Nash really hasn't got a system. What's his system? His best system was D'Antoni, wasn't it? That's when he had his best games, isn't it? So he hasn't really got no philosophy. If that's the philosophy you're bringing to these guys, that ain't the one, bro. Because that style needs more younger players, and these guys here are kind of aging. They're all getting old. And their game ain't so much run and gun, you know what I'm saying? And it just after a while, it's like, man, we can't be running down shooting. We ain't playing no defense out here. You know what I'm saying? Even Phoenix Suns, they used to play defense. So
they have some defense on there.
Yeah, so I ain't gonna blame the players no more. I stopped it. I ain't gonna do it. It's getting boring. And it's easy to blame the players. It is. It's easy. It's like, but the coaches need to be held accountable. And I realize they're not. And D'Antoni ain't hiding from me, because I remember Nate Robertson was one of my favorite players, and I see how he done him. I see how he done Steph Marbury, and I saw how he done Steve Francis as well. All right, and they said I think Carmelo Anthony said, or Ivan said, Marbury said on the Olympic team when I think he was the coach, Brown was there. D'Antoni was a part of the staff as well, the training staff as well. So he's a prick. Like, I ain't gonna lie, he's a prick. Straight up, he is, and people don't like him, and they don't want to play for him, and that's why I think what it comes down to. That's why he was the reason why the trade went down with Houston to bring Finn, because they realized that maybe he's going to be a problem, so we can get rid of him. So we need to bring other guys in, and Kyrie says that, and ever since that happened, Kyrie's been acting up. That's what I feel, you know.
Yeah, he has, because he's not happy with James Harden being there. He's not happy.
That's what I'm saying. They done it to upset him. That's what I'm saying. Because he wasn't doing what. So we're gonna bring someone else in, because if you ain't bucking up your ideas, because they can't get rid of him. He's on contract, so they're gonna try and do they're sabotaging him behind the scenes. That's what I'm saying to you. They're sabotaging him. You know what I'm saying? And D'Antoni's using Steve Nash to do it, because he knows if he comes out and do it, so they're sabotaging him. That's what I feel was happening here. The team's being sabotaged, and the thing is, Durant don't like what's going on, right? Because you see the way they're treating Kyrie, and that's why I feel that they're playing in the spring. They know what it is. The organization is the thing. This all comes down to the leadership first, and then the rest of the players are falling down to it. So that's what I'm gonna go with that, right? But we're gonna see tonight. They still have to play. I reckon they're gonna lose tonight as well.
Yeah, I think so too, especially off of back to back because you exerted so much energy just getting back in the Detroit game. And like I said, they're limited at all positions. Like, God forbid one of these guys get injured, it's going to be rough. Like, like in order for Brooklyn to win, all three of those guys are going to have to score 30 points a game because they don't play no defense. So you're going to have to get maximum effort every single night in the playoffs. Like, it's just no way that they're gonna they have to at least they have the smallest margin of error that I've ever seen out of any team in the NBA's history. They have a lot of talent, but I don't think that they're going to get it done this year. They're going to have to build that team up. Like I said, they're going to have to trade away Dinwiddie, and they're going to have to trade away Joe Harris in order to bring in some better defenders, because just relying on getting guys off the buyout market is not going to work, because you're not going to get guys off the buyout market that's going to help win this team a championship. This is something that you're going to have to plan going into next season and become a better defensive team. I'm not saying they have to be top 5, at least be like 20th or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Middle of the pack, and then they'll have a chance. But this, as currently constructed, they're not going to win. EJ, before we get out of here, bro, did you watch that thing on the BBC about the MCK Global?
Yes,
I watched it last night. Oh my God, dude! I didn't know all that stuff was going on, man.
Yeah, that's what's going on. I was on it. Like, I've been on it. I left it alone now because people around me, like some fighters I know around me, they signed to that organization, and me and some of the UK guys have been getting into it real thick. And, you know, I even to the point that guy on the documentary on my phone, someone sent me a voice note with the man on my phone. That's how deep it is, right?
Wow.
So yeah, so the shit is real thick over here, bro. It's real thick, and everyone in the UK scared. You know, after the documentary, apparently that the reporters who made that documentary, they had to move house because they got threatened. You know what I'm saying? And like,
that's crazy.
The networks, Sky and BT, they haven't released no statements on it. So, but the UK press is not talking about it. So people, what they're saying is people's intimidated from what's happened. So this is a real big thing, and it's permanent. It's getting to the point where people are scared to say anything now. So, you know what I'm saying? So it all of a sudden it happened out of the blue. They've here, and I didn't know that they were affiliated, but people are now, all you hear is people coming out and saying he's a great guy and people should leave him alone and he's doing good things for boxing. But the bottom line is, after seeing the documentary and what happens to certain fighters, you're like, boy, what happened? So what's your take of watching it? What do you feel?
I give McGuigan a lot of credit because they asked him at the end of the documentary, like, why was he like one of the few people to actually get on camera? Because the guy said he made the statement that there were a lot of people that echo the same sentiments as you, but you were the only one that was afraid to get on the camera. And Barry McGuigan was pretty much like, I've been in life-threatening situations my whole life, so like I'm not intimidated by that stuff. Yeah, exactly. And he was unafraid, but I mean, like that's. I was just shocked, dude. My mouth was wide open watching the whole thing, bro. Like I couldn't believe. I never heard of Callahan. Like I heard the name, but I didn't. Yeah. I saw him, but last night I connected the name with the face because I've heard of him before, but I used to always see him, and then when I would hear Tyson Fury, because Tyson Fury gave him credit for setting up the Anthony Joshua situation, you know. But just putting the name with the face, and then like to see this guy's history, and now he's over in Dubai, and they're trying to get him over there. Like when they talk to the DEA in America, they said that they have an ongoing investigation. Yeah. So they were unable to like really, talk about the case or whatever, or talk about him in particular. Like it's crazy, but like it's. I mean, the mafia has always been involved with boxing. I mean, you had the Italian mob over here, and a lot of the Irish mob, but like over there. It's heavy over there, bro. Like, and then in the documentary, they were showing like the people getting killed and stuff like that, like in restaurants and in hotels. And I think they was at a weigh-in, and them the guys ran up in the weigh-in and started shooting. So like,
I'll tell you how bad it is. Ireland are not allowed from that weigh-in thing. Ireland is no longer allowed to have professional fights in Ireland.
That's crazy.
That's why Conor McGregor and Katie Taylor have never think about it, you're like, why they're big in Ireland, right? How
Yeah.
come they're not allowed to have no professional fights over there? That's why.
Wow,
That's how deep. That's how
scary,
deep.
man.
Yeah, the criminal thing was so bad. That's how it is. That's
And
in
to see
Ireland.
guys like Frank Warren and what's his name attached to this dude, like that shit should be like the topic of discussion over here in American sports. Like they not even touching it. Like a couple of like YouTube boxing channels like talked about it over here, but like ESPN and Fox and all these major outlets, they haven't made a note about it at all. Like they haven't touched it at all, bro. And to see all of the high ranking like play people involved in that and affiliated, like Tyson Fury is one of the biggest boxers in boxing. And like I said, Frank Warren, you got what's his name? The other guy that's under him. His name is slipping me right now. A promoter, Eddie Hearn. So like,
they will work with him. They'll work with him. But you see, the thing is, when this thing goes down, everyone throws people on the bus. So no one wants to deal with this. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna have to see how far this goes. But I'm not gonna do no videos on it. Like you asked me, so we talk about it. But I ain't do no videos. I ain't touching it. I'm from the UK. And I was on
leave it alone,
I went on Fred's shows yesterday because Fred was trying to say over here we cheat. We over here cheating. We printing money. I'm saying no, it's not in England. In Ireland, definitely
That's
in
Ireland.
Ireland. Yeah, not in Ireland no more either because Ireland they kind of clear it up. They kind of clearing up now. So what's happened is that they're a global thing. So their network, they can perform their shows all over. He doesn't have to be there. You know what I'm saying? So they got a show on the 18th. They got the show on the 18th. So people gonna let their show. So we're gonna see what the corporate companies are gonna do. Are they gonna take away their sponsorships and stuff? So at this point, you've just seen the documentary. Things are still moving slowly. Have you seen a statement from Kinlan? He made a statement yesterday about the documentary.
What did he say?
You ain't see you go
no, see DJ because that's why I came in so late because I stayed up until 3 o'clock this morning watching that thing. So I got a little bit of sleep and then I saw your message.
I'm gonna send you some stuff and you're gonna sit there with your eyes popping out your head. You know what I'm saying?
I was fucking shocked, bro. I was wow.
Yeah. But what we're gonna do, we're gonna leave this right now. But I appreciate you coming over. Appreciate Jalik. You know what I'm saying? So, NBA ain't talk for a while. We're gonna come over and talk on the NBA thing, you know what I'm saying? So at this point right now, it's peak in terms of what the Nets are gonna do. But I'm like I said to you, I'm just gonna blame the thingy, bro. That's what I'm going to do.
Steve Nash.
As a coach, as a former coach, as a former coach, I just take responsibility as the coaching staff, and that's why sometimes I remember even at teams before, and I couldn't get them over the hump. I resigned, bro. I resigned because I realized it's me. Maybe it's me. I can't get to the players and get them understanding what I want them to do. And if I can't do that, then why am I here? I know I'm getting paid, but I don't care about the money because I can't be affecting my job if the guys or the people I'm working with don't want to do what I want to say, man.
Right.
I won't do. You want to go force them? You know what I'm saying? There's something around here. They've made up some of them have made it their mind to sabotage me. And I've been in situations and it ain't no gonna get no better. You know what I'm saying? The only way to get better is if one of the players go, they ain't going nowhere. So it's best for all parties if you change the system and bring in people to hold them accountable, which they want to be, because these are young men still at the end of the day. And even though they're millionaires and stuff like that, hold accountable to put them in a position where they can be proud of themselves, because they at the minute they're happy to be mediocre. Is what I'm saying, and that's unacceptable with 2 league MVPs and champions, people with rings on their finger. It's unacceptable. So we're gonna have to follow this story. Yeah, Kai, I'll send you some stuff in a bit.
Okay.
Appreciate you guys in the chat, and always welcome. All you guys are always welcome on my NBA and on the NBA chat. The next story continues. Steve Nash. Hopefully he can turn it around, and if not, bro, I'm gonna keep beating the drum about him getting sacked.
He'll be done after this year. This will be his only year.
You reckon? I don't think the year even get out before. I reckon if they're smart, they get rid of him. They get rid of him just after the All-Star game, bro. For real.
Probably so.
Yeah, well, I think all 3 of them make the All-Star game as well. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they all make.
Yeah, they all make it.
Yeah,
all
they
make it.
see the thing is the players are the players before. See, the players are good before Steve Nash. So what's going on? And Steve Nash is one of the great players, no doubt. Yeah, but brother, like I don't know. Even though you're great, somewhere along they don't. I don't know because you're from the generation. Somewhere along the line, they don't respect you though. You ain't carrying that swag. You
Right.
ain't got. Before like Steve Nash, yeah. With the brothers, I remember they were saying about when he was in the Phoenix Suns, they didn't really know him, but when they got to them, like man, he was cool, man. Steve Nash, he was one of them guys. He was really down for us, but it took a while for them to get to that, and they haven't.
Right.
The bridge. There's no bridge. You see what I'm saying? And if you look at his coaching staff, which is the brother man them, he need a brother man there to bridge to make them understand what Steve Nash is about, and he ain't got that. Instead, he bring bloody D'Antoni in, and that ain't gonna work. So that's what I'm saying. All right, I'm out of here, man. EJ Boxing Live from Kyle, from Jalik, from YG. We out of here. Peace.
Peace.